All right, we're live. We're going in. I'm here with Nick DiPaolo, Brian Redband. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. And we're looking at the tunnel that they dug under, I believe his name is El Chapo. Yes, El Chapo Guzman. Respect. Respect for, I mean, you know, forget about all the terrible shit I'm sure that guy has done. Listen, you gotta give props when they're due. This guy had, I mean, he's got a fucking plan. He executed it like a goddamn Clint Eastwood movie.
I know.
This is a movie.
I've hired contractors who don't do work that good. That tunnel was perfect, for Christ's sake.
And he was in jail for a year, so I wonder if it took a year for them to do this.
Oh, Christ.
I wonder how they did it.
Probably got a crew of 6, and they did it in 3 hours.
They dug a fucking mile tunnel. There's a video of him going into the hole, too. See if you can find the video, because you actually see him go, well, see ya. He just goes over to by where his toilet is and just steps down into the, I'm not kidding, man. It's crazy. It's crazy to watch.
Yeah, there's a staircase.
It's like a movie, and it's going to end with Trump, you know? Like,
oh, my God.
And the movie's going to be trumped.
Do you know his son said something? He texted something.
Oh, they
or
Twitter
tweeted something to Trump. Jesus Christ, how terrified must Trump be right now? Can you imagine if this fucking guy who can dig a tunnel a mile under the ground,
it comes up behind Trump's house,
is trying to kick your ass?
Isn't it weird that history is tweeted now? Like in the past,
strange.
it used to be like by horse and message carrier.
Yeah,
and now
so
it's
strange.
tweeted.
So strange.
People on the run have, you know, access to Twitter.
When you find out something happened, like somebody died, what do you do immediately? I go to Twitter.
Yeah.
Immediately. I just go look in the timeline, and for sure
Depends who it is.
Depends who it is that died.
Might check MySpace on a couple of those guys.
Yeah, like you would see like R.I.P. like Leonard Nimoy was a big one for me. I was like, oh fuck, Spock, fucking Spock died, and immediately I went to Twitter and bam, it was right there. I had a look at this. He's got a motorcycle. Sorry, while we're watching this, the hunt for El Chapo. El Chapo was a fucking motorcycle and a jug of whiskey. Like, what is that jug on the front seat? So
it's tequila.
He's gonna fucking party as soon as he gets on that thing.
Look, I want a motorbike and a gallon of cider.
This is like El Machete. I mean, it really is. Like, he gets down through the hole. There's a motorcycle with fucking liquor.
On rails. And it was on rails. Like a ride at fucking Disney. And he's gone.
Look at that. Tunnel cost $5 million, took a year to build. Wow. Holy shit.
Boy, the authorities are really fucking on top of it, huh?
How funny is that, though, that they take a wild guess at $5 million? Bitch, you don't know how much.
Yeah, where do you get that price?
You're just guessing.
Well, we called Home Depot, and they said the 2x4s are at least 60 grand.
Well, the amount of dirt he had at this place, you know, I think you got to factor in trucking and union costs. This is
exactly.
This is his toilet. So what he did was they built it right behind the stall. So I guess he has like a little bit of privacy there, and that's where they fucked up. They gave him like a little bit of shitter privacy.
Yeah, which you know, why would you do that?
Well, now they know. You can't give the guy shitter privacy. If you catch him
now
again.
Now you have to shit in the front of your cell?
I mean, come on. This is crazy. This is like...
It's a colonoscopy. Look, Joe.
My butthole looks that good. I'm very happy. It's that wide and clean.
Jesus.
It's ready to go.
It's been licked out.
That's all protein powder stuck to the side. Fucking
that's
green
all
energy drinks and Joe coffee and all that
Kale
other shit.
shakes and mousse.
That's my prostate with a wire hanging out of it.
Electronic prostate. Did you see they're going to be able to make artificial penises? They said within the next 5 years they're going to have lab-created penises.
I'm already on the list. You didn't hear about this like a year ago?
Can you imagine having the first generation of them?
Well, I was in Miami the other day, and I saw this woman that had an artificial butt, like the most obvious artificial butt I've ever seen.
Bad now.
It was so bizarre. It was so strange. But what happened was she just went crazy. You know, she didn't say, "Well, we want to get a little butt lift, add a little." No, she went nuts. Here's El Chapo. Watch this. Watch him walk through this. This is hilarious. He's just hanging out. Yeah, you know, just in my cell. Another day, no big deal. And then they give him like a knock, knock, knock. And he goes, all right, let's fucking do this. Goes back there, steps down.
Uber's
and boom,
here.
It's over. How the fuck? How the fuck do you not respect that?
So great.
And for him, $5 million. Like, what a bargain, you know?
It looked like he was doing that trick that people do when they walk behind a wall. They're at a party. They go like this. Now, when your friends do that when you're drunk.
The fake staircase.
Yeah, the fake
trick.
staircase.
That's exactly what it looked like. That's hilarious.
And he's gone.
He's gone for now.
There had to be some cooperation there. That was a
I
little
don't
too easy, no?
know why you would assume that. You always
Mexico.
think the worst of people, and I think that's one of your faults, buddy.
One of my fucking strong points.
When you look at that, it's like, I mean, that's about as clear an example of an inside job as you're ever going to fucking
Christ,
get. Like,
yeah.
nobody heard digging? Nobody heard nothing? Nothing?
Motorcycle starting up.
Yeah. You guys didn't notice that there's one lone house that was just built a mile away? You didn't notice?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, where was the output? Was it a house?
It's a house.
I thought I heard a dirt bike starting up in El Chapo's.
No, nothing, my friend. I smell whiskey. They had a jug for him. The guy goes down there, he gets a fucking jug of whiskey or whatever was in that jug.
Definitely had to be tequila.
I'm assuming it was booze.
Maybe a little
probably
water, fellas. I mean, it was a tunnel.
True.
Well, he had a regular cell, so they, it wasn't like Goodfellas style.
Right.
Remember those guys?
The lobsters and the steaks coming in.
They're slicing the garlic with the razor blade. Always knew how to make the sauce.
Yeah.
That fucking sauce. I tried that after that. I tried slicing the garlic with a razor blade. It's very annoying.
Yeah, it's too
It's
much
not
work.
worth it.
No.
So not worth it.
My grandmother wouldn't even do that shit.
That's the kind of shit you do when you're in jail.
Exactly.
There's no pussy. You're lost and trapped in this horrible environment where people tell you what to do every day. Just decide to find out new ways to chop garlic. But some people did live like that, right? Like that's
Yeah.
real shit. Like you really did have like cordoned off areas in jails. How the fuck did they ever pull that off?
Same way El Chapo.
But that's even kind of crazier, because at least El Chapo, you could kind of say you didn't know until the end. If there's a whole section of your jail
everybody's
that has
paid
like
off.
carpets over the fucking bar so you can't see in, and you smell cooking, and the guards are getting mad because they don't have fans, so they're frying steaks in there, and smoke's getting everywhere.
Those two guys that broke out upstate New York, in that prison, you were allowed to put sheets up to block the view of the... You could put sheets in the front of your cell. Yes, that was allowed.
So it became like a really shitty apartment.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, how is that allowed in a prison?
That doesn't seem like prison-ish.
Up in Hillbillyville. I mean, what the fuck?
That's got to be one of the weirdest things about being in a prison is that no one sees you. You see everybody. Like no one's any privacy. You're like constantly exposed to each other. That's very unnatural. Just that alone.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta. But obviously, you see something like this where all he had was like a little tiny wall over the shitter, like next to the shitter.
I don't even like shitting at Fenway. I can't imagine being in a cell with another guy 3 feet away.
There's those decisions you have to make, though, right? Like airport shits. You gotta go, we're just gonna do this, regardless of how disgusting it smells in there and what was in the toilet already. Sometimes you just gotta get rid of a package.
Those are the worst, the airport, especially international terminals. You got 11 different odors coming out of 11 different stuff. Yeah, you get curry next to you, fucking coffee from Colombia.
It's like food court.
I was in Miami the other day, and I had to go through immigration. And when I was going through the immigration thing, there's this giant fucking line of people, and everywhere you look, there's the Ebola signs. There's these signs like, if you have an elevated temperature, don't do this, don't do that. And they have all these, there's like 4 or 5 Ebola signs right in front of me. Warning, have you been to Liberia? Have you been to, we were in Costa Rica. It's Liberia, but it's spelled Liberia. So my wife is like, are we going to get Ebola? Like, is there Ebola on this fucking, no, it's Africa, Liberia.
Thus the need for borders, Joe.
But what about those poor people that have Ebola?
What are we, all the fucking everybody in the world that fucking...
I just don't think that we deserve it.
I know you don't. You've been taught to hate this country.
No, I love this country. How dare you?
But why don't you think we deserve it?
Well, you hate this America country.
I'm not saying
I
that.
love
I'm
this
just saying.
country. I just think that other people they're fucked. We need to help them. They're in trouble.
We are.
They're
What kind of taxes are you paying?
There's not enough. There's no way. We'd be paying way more if we were actually helping Africa.
Oh, that's true.
Imagine we're rebuilding. If we rebuild Iraq, imagine if we just decided to do that. Just start rebuilding infrastructures of cities, just without war. Just go in there, big time government contracts. Just rebuild like Liberia. Like Liberia, if you've never seen it, there's a Vice documentary on it.
They have a summer home over there.
Inside or outside the shit way? This is like an area where people just shit on the street. You got to make sure. You want to make sure you're not downwind of that.
Yeah.
Real estate prices vary. It's like being north or south of the
Just the
boulevard.
smells knock down your property value?
Shane Smith from Vice went down there years ago, and they did this this documentary on how crazy Liberia was. You'll love this. One of the things that happened in Liberia is, I believe, it was a place where they put a lot of slaves once they were set free. Once, like, American slaves that went back to Africa, I think that was also a big part of Liberia, and the government collapsed there. Like, if you're really interested in the story, don't listen to it from me because I'm going to butcher it. But Shane's Vice piece kind of details where that country went wrong, and you know, it's fucking chaos there now. Like, they're serving, like, on these little carts where they serve food on the side of the road. They were serving human meat. And you know how this guy recognized it?
You can get that on La Cienega.
The guy recognizes it because he had eaten human meat, so he knew what it tasted like, so he turned the guy in. It is.
What part of that story was I supposed to love? You go, you'll love this. Then you go into the slavery.
You loved all of it. I thought you'd be in this.
You go, you'll love this, and you went right into the slavery part. Like, I'm pro-slavery.
That's not what I'm saying. You love this because it's fascinating.
Oh.
You love it because it's fascinating, not because you love it. I didn't say specifically why you love it.
I'm
You're
just
reading
saying,
into
everybody
this,
does that to me. They torch me with that shit.
You have one too many appearances on Fox News. They just like, Nicholas, you're our go-to guy.
They won't even have me on anymore.
Really? They're like, he's just too racist.
No, I'm a fucking racist.
I'm kidding. I don't think you're racist.
As soon as you say that, I win the argument, Joe.
That's true.
That's how it works.
That is true.
I know.
That is true, right? That's one of the first. You're racist, or you're sexist, or you're misogynist. Like, oh
shit. By the way, all words that were made up, they're not even part of fucking Latin. They were made up for the causes. I don't know if you know that. But.
I'm a fan of America. We don't go by Latin language. We have American English. We're done with that Latin shit. We add on to it as we like.
That's right.
Cisgender. You got to start adapting that. Don't you understand what that means?
Cisgender?
Do you know what that means?
No.
That means if you are heterosexual and you are the gender of your birth. So if you are a heterosexual white man, you are a cisgendered white man.
What does that mean?
Exactly. Let's just adopt it.
Let's get something straight.
Add it on.
Is it just
exactly.
sounds cool?
Keep adding them on. I like it.
And gender is not a social construct. Can we get that on the fucking...
Hey, how dare you?
Some girl was sucking my social construct last night.
Oh!
Stick that, you fucking lesbian pipe.
With the garlic and the sauce.
Oh, yeah. How fucking outrageous a statement by Nick DiPaolo.
Gender's definitely not a social construct. It's there's males and females, but there's also a spectrum inside that male and female, and there's women who are men or men who are women. And
absolutely,
I think that's absolutely real.
Absolutely.
I don't think you can deny it at a certain point in time, right?
No, that's just biology.
But I'll say cisgender just because it's fun, just because I feel silly saying it.
It's got the word cis in it. It almost sounds like a pro-lesbian thing.
Yeah, cisgender. Yeah.
I'm bro-gender.
Bro-gendered? That's a guy who wants things the old-fashioned way.
No, that's a reactionary.
Yeah, reactionary, I used to think, is just someone who reacts to things quickly.
Everybody did. And then,
it's a right wing. It's reacting to things in a right-wing slant,
Because somebody said that about my act, about me being a reactionary. Like, what do they mean? Does he mean I jump down the throats of hecklers? Yeah.
Well, it sounds like that's what it should mean.
That's exactly right. That's what everybody thinks initially.
That's one of those weird words. Like, make up a new word. Why do you have the same word as reaction?
Cis-reaction.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you already have reaction. We all know what that means, and everybody knows what airy means. You add it, you're doing it, right? You're reactionary. Right. What are you doing? Why are you making a new definition, you fuck? Why am I looking at you? Like Brian made a dictionary.
I know, Brian was yelling at Webster over there.
Well, I tried to say 1,000th. 1,000th.
Yeah, ooh,
that's good.
That's a
1,000th. That is not easy.
1,000th. And I can't do it.
1,000th.
1,000th.
Yeah, I had to think about that. Can you do that?
What?
1,000th.
1,000th.
That's not easy. That's a weird
right?
one. You did. You totally did.
Oh,
but,
see, I just fucked it up.
Right, but you had to concentrate.
1,000th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's a weird one.
What if you had a hair lip? It's a real bitch.
I was like freaking out for a half hour
gay
last
guy.
night. I thought it was...
Is Joaquin Phoenix, is he like the most successful hair lip guy ever, or is it the guy who was Stacy Keach? Which guy?
Has that ever been asked? It's the best question I've ever heard.
I think it's a good question.
Stacy Keach,
Stacy
right.
Keach, he had a hair lip too.
He's dead, right? He just died.
I believe he did.
He did, didn't he?
I believe he did.
Or am I confusing? I always confuse
What was that
Stacy Keach
what was that show he was on?
He's been on a lot of stuff.
He had a detective show?
Oh, wait a minute. I think Keach is alive. I'm confusing him with a guy that was...
Jamie will find out. Is he alive?
Yeah.
All right, Stacy. He does the ONA introductions for Opie and Anthony.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. See if you can find Stacy Keach reading Opie and Anthony introduction, because it's fucking awesome.
I always confuse him with a guy that was in, you know what, with De Niro and Charles Grodin. You know, the road movie.
Fuck,
Jesus
man.
Christ. Midnight Run.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? He reminds me of Stacy Keach, a handsome guy who just died. He's dead, by the way, with a mustache that played the bad guy, Serrano. What the fuck? This is what happens when I sleep 2 hours a night. I'm like...
You remember his name, Eric? No? You're making some motions over there. I was going to go to you. Go to my backup guy. Sorry, dude. There's a few of those guys like that. Like Stacy Keach was always in those...
Charles Grodin?
No, not Grodin. The guy that played the bad guy. He's been in everything.
Dennis Farina.
Yes, Dennis Farina.
Yes, Dennis Farina.
He just died a little while ago.
He died.
Which shocked me. He looked like a healthy, like handsome guy who was going to live forever.
Well, there's those.
He did. I wasn't being sarcastic.
He did look healthy.
Yeah.
He was very vibrant.
He was a Chicago cop in real life.
Well, that's
before he became an actor.
It's probably the stress.
You're probably right.
You know? Jesus.
Probably drank like a fish, right?
Well, I was talking to this lady yesterday, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, this brilliant doctor, and she was talking about the effects of aging on effects of partying, drinking, and just bad health, and how much it can age your body, age literally your biological body. I don't know why I'm looking at you. But Dennis Farina.
I'm going to try that. I'm 41 next week.
But Dennis Farina, it's good stuff. But Dennis
I'm afraid
Farina.
to freak out in here.
No, you'd be all right.
You sure?
Yeah, we're friends. We'll be together. I'll hold your hand. But Dennis Farina, by going through all those years as a cop, you got to think the fucking stress of that. You pay for that. You pay for that for a long time.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons why he was so believable. Like in Snatch. That's right. How good was he in Snatch?
Oh, that's right. He was in Snatched, yeah.
You believe it. Even though he was sort of tongue-in-cheek while he was doing it, you were still on board
that he was
that fucking guy.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, he was a good actor, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he
was
bummed me out.
shocked.
That was a bummer. But listen to this Stacy Keach thing. This is the Stacy Keach, Opie and Anthony thing.
New York City, 6 a.m. An out-of-control satellite radio show is being broadcasted to millions of Americans.
Here we go. Here's the bit.
At the controls, Greg Hughes, a father.
I would love to say we have the best job in America.
Anthony Cumia, an alcoholic.
It could be the best thing ever.
And Jim Norton, a comedian.
Out loud laughs. How do we explain the show? We should start there. Oh, here it is.
The three men make up the Opie and Anthony Show, a popular radio program known for its cringe style of entertainment and having very few limits.
Oh, shit. This is a freak show. Why would anybody want to come on this show as a guest?
Under the right circumstances, something weird could happen.
I don't give a fuck.
Laugh out loud funny.
Which I love. That's what I love.
In the past, they have been accused of multiple FCC violations and have even gotten their show suspended from satellite radio.
When you listen to our show, you know what you get. You know what we are.
Everything has to do with cock or balls. You know, the jokes all end up talking about cock and balls. You're a waste of life.
Fucking listeners, go fucking die.
Everything you are about to hear is real. Real people, real excitement. Wow. Get ready to experience the thrill of a lifetime. This is the Opie and Anthony Show.
So powerful.
That's about as good. That's about as good an intro as any radio guy's ever gotten.
Fuck
ever.
yeah.
Just have Stacy Keach read your intro like
I didn't know that.
Joe Rogan started his podcast 5 years ago.
Well, I started that podcast because of Opie and Anthony.
Is
For
that
sure.
right?
Yeah, Brian and we had done some other shit before. We had done like Justin TV, and we had done like these little things where you do like a little live read off the laptop camera and talk to people and answer Twitter questions and shit. We fucked around with that a few times. But when Anthony set up his green screen in his basement and started doing that live from the compound show, I was like, whoa.
And Tom Green.
Tom Green's
He had
house.
it in his house.
Tom had like a talk show.
Insane. He had servers in his house, like those fucking long, giant fucking sewer cables running through his living room.
Did he?
Oh, he had the whole deal. He had a whole server room. You would go in the room, and it was everything like those hums of the fans and shit. You're like, whoa.
I talked to him Monday. I had him on his show, and he meets at this donut place now. He has a studio now in Burbank. He moved it out of his house, and he meets at this donut place next door and for his studio audience. He's like, he'll Periscope and go, anyone who comes to this donut place, you can be a part of my studio studio audience, and then they all go over to his studio and they do the show in front of people.
Wow.
You know, just complete strangers he meets at a donut place.
That's perfect for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a super pioneer. Tom Green's show, that fucking original MTV show, very, very underrated show.
Yeah.
He's a pioneer.
Yeah, he's a funny fuck.
And a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Very, very
Canadian.
good dude. Yeah, he's a good dude.
We need more of them down here.
I think I think he was on that fucking celebrity pool show that I did.
Yeah.
Was he on that too? And the girl from Mad TV.
Video.
That's hilarious. Yeah, he was on that. I'm pretty sure. He's always been like a really cool dude. You know, just a interesting, weird guy. And you know what? Didn't start doing stand-up until later in life and got really good. Like, he had a Showtime special, and I was sitting in front of the TV, and I think he'd only been doing stand-up like 4 or 5 years. And it was funny. It was funny. It was well-written. It was well put together. He had really good points. His bit about texting, what people's thumbs are going to look like and how they're going to change, it was fucking hilarious. It was really good. It was, like, well acted out. I was like, this guy looks like a 10-year comic. But it's just because he had done so many other things. He was like really used to
comfortable
performing.
in front of people.
Yeah, yeah. Tom Green's a bad motherfucker.
He killed it Monday, man. He had the crowd like going crazy. He did He did like a 25-minute set too on the show.
I'm sure. He's an animal. He's good. He's working hard too. That's another thing about that guy. He's always doing something. He's always working. You know, he doesn't rest. He's always trying to improve things. So like him, like that definitely influenced us. But Opie and Anthony did by the way they held their show. Like, they were the only show that I ever went on was a hang.
That's
you
right.
know? I brought guys in. I'm like, hey, this is my friend Eddie. This is my friend Brian. This is my friend Joey. This is my friend Ari. I brought guys in. And they were like, you know, who's this guy? Bring him in.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just so cool like that. What they did was they turned it into, like, a fun place to hang out. Yeah. So everybody got funnier because of that. Like, it was way, like, Patrice, the kind of shit Patrice did on ONA. Yeah. You literally could not have done that on any other radio format because people had to know Patrice, give him the room, like, let him get these rants out. You got to know, like, when the rants are coming, you got to help him along, and you got to not, like, want to be the center of attention. Like, they had the best control of the room because, like, Opie would just lay back. He would just lay, like, literally, you'd see him push back and let Norton and Patrice and you guys would all be fucking yelling at each other. It would be hilarious.
Well, it's smart, actually. I mean, when you've been doing radio that long, trust me, there's nothing better than having good guests where you can sit back and let them, because you're tired of carrying the shit.
But think about how few shows are ever like that.
That's right.
Right?
No, it's a great recipe.
So few shows. Yeah. When you did that show with Artie, did they have, like, a format they had you guys stick to? The radio show?
Well, yeah, because that was a unique situation because we were also on TV,
right?
Simulcast, a direct TV, you know. So there had to be more structure, which was to me was the problem, you know. And Artie too. Artie wanted less structure too. The minute TV got involved, which is where allowed us to get paid what we did and stuff. Yeah. But you know, it takes kind of the craziness. You can get away with a lot of shit on radio and.
You can get away with a lot of shit on radio, and you can get away with a lot of shit on the internet. And when you look at like something that's on direct TV like that, like, boy, isn't there a better way to advertise? Can't you guys have just like a ticker at the bottom? Like, wouldn't that be a better way to advertise? It just seems like breaking it up and doing every 15 minutes. You do like however long it is, like 7 minutes or 8 minutes off the air where it's just bullshit and commercials. Then you come back. It breaks up the whole flow. Like conversations, like the best conversations, like this conversation, like we're having fun.
So organic and it keeps going.
Yeah, we're banging. If we go, all right, we'll be right back. We have a word from, and then we'd have to start all over again.
It is. It's momentum and rhythm. You're right.
It's like the difference between driving on the highway and taking side roads. Like if you took side roads and there's an open highway next to you, you're an asshole. Like what are you doing? You know. But some people, they take the fucking side roads. God damn it. Side roads driving motherfuckers.
I'll tell you that Waze app, do you have that on your phone?
It's amazing.
Because I lived out here 15 years ago. I don't remember the streets of the fucker. I've been relying on this thing all week. It's been taking me around traffic. You know, I'm supposed to be on the 101. It kicks me off, and I'm looking at people sitting in traffic. And like you said, up over hills and shit, but I'm still moving.
It's incredible.
I'd rather move and be late, but you're not even late. It gets you there faster. I mean, it's fucking unbelievable.
It's amazing.
Do you hear what they're doing, though? Some people in neighborhoods are pissed off because sometimes Waze will direct it through their neighborhood. So now these people in neighborhoods are putting fake, like, reports on
once
Waze.
Again, selfishness erupts.
Goddamn selfish motherfuckers, Nick DiPaolo.
A little traffic in the fucking Bel Air area. Get the...
Yeah, well, you remember when
and cops, too. Cops
yeah.
are pissed because it lets people know where the cops are, and seeing as, seems to be open season on there.
Well, cops are
That's a
faking
legitimate
it.
point.
Cops are faking it. They're like putting fake cop warnings up in spots. So
Is that what
people
they
are
do?
like looking around everywhere.
Good, they're fighting back now? Is that where we are?
Well, they're fighting back with deception. I don't think that should be legal because it's our tax dollars. I don't want to pay tax dollars. Somebody's fucking lying to me. That's bullshit. You're lying to Waze? How dare you? It's like this shit that's going on. What was this other case? PETA and SeaWorld. That a SeaWorld guy had infiltrated PETA and was working from the inside at PETA to try to destroy PETA by saying a bunch of ridiculous shit, and he was an employee of SeaWorld.
Is that right? Oh, man. That would be a good
I hope
documentary.
I'm getting that right. Let me make sure I'm getting that right, because it might be the other way around. SeaWorld employee.
Either way, it would make for a great movie.
Yeah, right? And
yeah.
That'd be like a good Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for Divorce Fest this year? Once the Ashley Madison passwords get put into a searchable database online,
it's gonna get ugly.
It's going to cause a wave of shit.
It's going to be crazy.
We finally let gay people marry each other. Got that right.
Yeah. Now regular marriage is fucked.
Turn into a nightmare.
Yeah, here
I'm
it
like
is.
looking at all my friends' wives, going,
Peter says,
That's why I stick to whacking it.
It's a good move. It's a good move. It's way safer. Peter says undercover SeaWorld employee posed
had
as
it right.
animal rights activist.
Yeah.
So I did have it right. That's hilarious. Really overzealous SeaWorld employee, like Paul Blart Mall Cop style.
jeez.
That would be a great movie, dude.
It would. You're
Come
right.
on. You got
It
juice.
would.
Call somebody.
You know, if I was in the movie world, I would call somebody. But
Melissa McCarthy will be the whale.
oh, how dare you?
I love her. I think she's the funniest woman around.
She's very funny. She's very
Great.
physically funny for sure. She's very talented.
Yeah.
It's funny because Billy Gardell's a funny comic. You know Billy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They don't on the show. He's like almost like a straight guy.
Of course.
You know?
Wouldn't want the husband getting one over on the wife, would you, Joe?
They don't allow that. Nick
course
DiPaolo.
not.
Why is that? What's up with that?
Because jerk-offs run Hollywood.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Or is that what
Feminist-
people want to see? Do people want to see
No,
that?
they don't want to see that.
You don't wanna
Fucking
see that.
Hollywood's been
Look at you.
hijacked by fucking feminists.
You really think
Am
so?
I wrong there? If you guys can't relate to that, I'm fucking leaving.
I think
You
that
haven't
what
noticed the
they
pattern
are-
of emasculation in movies and for the last 20 years?
I think there's people that are seriously concerned with coming off as progressive. And even if they think differently than what would be the progressive choice, they will make the progressive choice because they get like social brownie points. I definitely think that's true. But I don't think that pertains to sitcoms. I think it's not as funny if the dude gets over on the chick for some
Yeah,
reason.
it is. Oh, dude, come on. This is a true story. You want to hear a story? I might have told you this on the last time I was here.
Okay.
I had a deal with, this was years ago, with Dennis Leary's company.
Oh, yeah?
And we come out here and take a bunch of meetings. And for they had a sitcom idea. And first of all, every meeting, 75% of the room was female executives. And the first question in every meeting was, what's the wife's role? Every fucking one. So by the time we got to NBC, which was the last one, and I had fucking had it, and they're like, so what's the wife's? I go, and again, I was just kidding, but I go, I don't know. I see like in the pilot, she's pregnant, and I push her down the cellar stairs. And I'm expecting like Dennis to start laughing and Jimmy Serpico, and they all just look at me. You could have fucking heard a pin. So the next day, Jimmy Serpico had to send a dozen roses to the lady from NBC.
Oh, my God.
You wonder why I can't get a gig? Thank God you threw me in news radio and a few Grace Under Fires. I'd still be using my fucking, my high school acting.
You almost got fucked out of the news radio gig. Remember, we had to go back and get you.
That was hilarious, man.
There was some shenanigans behind the scenes. Somebody was trying to get their friend in on the part that Nick was playing, and I had cast Nick as my one brother and Callan as my other brother. I'm like, if you want it to be funny, how about I bring you two really funny stand-ups that I'm actually friends with? Like, let's just do it this way. And so Paul Sims was like, yeah, fuck it. Perfect. Like, he saw you, he'd seen some stand-up. He's like, this guy's hilarious. Perfect. Bring him in. And so you came in, and all of a sudden, Nick calls me up and goes, I guess I didn't get the fucking job. I don't know what happened. I went, what? And we had to go back down there, and They had cast somebody else, and we made them switch it around.
I didn't even get home and call you. You came running out.
Yeah.
Remember, I was walking to my
that's
car.
Right. That's right.
I was walking to my car going, there's another one down the fucking toilet. I'll be back in Boston in another 6 weeks if this keeps on. And Joe comes running out of nowhere and goes, they fucked up the... And then I'm going, now I'm thinking to myself, is Joe just being a great guy? I don't want to fuck over a guy who actually was better than me in the audition.
No.
I didn't, you know?
No, it wasn't that at all. It wasn't that at all. He was already decided.
I didn't know that.
Somebody snuck in. The decision was made by Paul, who was the executive producer. Yeah. He thought you were hilarious. And he loved the idea since we're already friends. Like, this would be perfect. Don't know each other. And we look like we could be brothers. Right. We have this antagonistic relationship on the show. With, Callan and I beat the fuck out of each other. He throws me through a glass window.
It was like Stooges.
It was fun.
I
got
awesome.
thrown through like one of those candy glasses. You don't even feel it, man. It's just like it dissolves. You go flying, you hit it, and it just dissolves. It's real weird. Like, you're waiting to get cut open. You're waiting like, oh, it's going to be ugly. And
I remember that.
Yeah, that was fun.
And we had another scene where we were supposed to... I don't know if we were beating you up or one of the brothers, but we were hitting you with a glass coffee pot over the head, and we started stomping on you, and they watched it through the thing, and they go, it looks like Goodfellas. It looks like you're killing somebody. Apparently I was too Italian for this. I had the suit jacket on. I'm doing this like De Niro. I'm stomping on with a fake glass coffee pot. That was awesome. That sugar glass.
Yeah, that was fun. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's funny how your memory fucks with you.
Well, that's weed, Joe.
No. It's just 20 years. That was 20 years ago. Really?
I don't want to hear that.
Isn't that crazy? I think it was.
No,
it
has
was 95.
to be. You're right. I moved out. I was out in L.A. in 95 to 99, so it was one of those years. And that's what I can't believe. I'm driving around out here. I'm looking at people who were my age when I came out here.
Yeah, the cycle.
I mean, gay guys used to look at me out here. They don't even look at me now. Even the gay guys, I get offended.
We could work on a few things and we can get it back. You're a handsome guy. P90X it again. Last time you were here, you were telling me about you did the P90X. You lost a ton of weight.
I did.
You got fit.
I did that. You're supposed to do it for 3 months. I did it for like 13 months and turned my hips into fucking fine powder. So now I'm doing Sean T. I'm doing Sean T. 30-minute insanity. You got to stay with it. You got to stay focused. You got to stay within yourself. You got to stay focused.
What's better, P90X or that?
Well,
is his all body weight? Is that what it is?
Yeah, there's no way. You know what, Joe? It's pretty close. I did this insanity thing. Yeah, but you know what? I fucking like it. And here's the funny thing, Joe. Here's the hilarious thing. I'm doing this, and I figured everybody in the video is in their 20s, and at 30 at the oldest. And so I'm doing a lot of the modified exercises. They always have the fat chick in the front that's doing modified exercise. Everybody else is doing like one-hour push-ups, and me and Catherine are going like this. Oh, yeah. I go, this will get me in shape by 2046. But you know what? It gets your heart rate through the roof. I mean, and I just do it to maintain now. You know what I mean? But at work, I mean, it's I don't like that, do I?
You can get really good workouts from bodyweight exercises.
Yes.
There's a bunch of them that you can do. There's like a bunch of full body weight routines that you could do that are fucking incredible. They'll kill you. They break you down.
Yeah, these have you're doing those burpee push-ups and the suicides and 30 minutes with it, and you get a break like every 5 minutes. You get like a 10-second break, and it keeps my, it allows me to have cigarettes after I work out.
You could do that on the Xbox with the camera that records you, so it knows if you're not doing the arm high enough.
Oh, fuck that. I don't need that.
And it tracks how much, what your percent is and stuff.
I look at my belly when I see if that'll tell me I'm not doing it right.
I've always said that would be a really good way to teach martial arts.
They have that.
Get one of those. Do they have it? Like,
yeah,
they teach it?
They have all that stuff now, and it uses the body tracking, and it can tell how much calories you've burned, and it's really cool.
That I would like.
What I mean is to teach you, because if you did an instructional and you're showing a guy like how to throw a kick, if you put it on a computer where the lines of the guy's legs were clearly defined, you would know if his knee wasn't high enough, or if his hands were down, or if his back was. Is this it right here?
UFC has
quick workout with Greg Jackson. Oh, and so the one on the right is the guy, the little thing in the triangle is the guy?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that's you. That's like the video of you.
And see,
wow, that's crazy.
And it's like infrared or something like that, so I could tell where your hot spots are
and read your heart rate too.
Yeah. Oh my God! By looking at you?
Yeah, Xbox One.
What?
Yeah.
Are you
it reads
me?
your heart rate by looking at you.
It's thermal camera.
And we can't beat ISIS, really? Are you fucking shitting me?
Okay. It's because we don't want to beat ISIS.
Okay.
We want to keep an enemy out
Whatever
there.
Maybe.
Do you think that?
No.
Oh, here's Frank Mir right here.
UFC personal trainer hitting the mitts with Frank Mir. Oh, wow. Look at this. You throw your punches at his hands.
Yeah. And
How many people are going to punch their fucking TV? This is a terrible idea.
no,
How many people?
you're not standing close to your TV.
How many people have punched their TV since this came out? People do stand close to their TV, man. Whack, 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 whack. So it's a good idea. I think the way it would be better, though, is if it was a split screen and the character,
Was bigger,
your character, was
same size?
much larger.
Yeah.
Because
I can't even, right now, it's that little green guy that was in the Flintstones sitting on your show. Kazoo.
Kazoo. I forgot about Kazoo.
That's what it looks like.
That's exactly what it looks like. Kazoo. You remember Kazoo?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Who did the voice of Kazoo? I know you can find
What
that
was
in 2
his
seconds.
voice? Because I remember, I feel like I used to be able to do
I
it.
know. I'm doing Kermit.
Do it?
Is that you?
Yes, it's me right here. I'm on the shoulder now.
That's not it. That's kind of like
Maybe like less gay.
Yeah.
The great.
Oh,
Kazoo.
yeah. I'm over here.
Less,
I think it's more
less.
gay, actually.
Who did the voice?
Oh, my God.
Corman.
Harvey
Oh,
Korman.
Harvey Korman from Carol Burnett show.
Wow.
Remember him?
Yeah.
Funny motherfucker.
That was a great fucking show.
He's been gone a while, too.
Think about that, man. Something like the Carol Burnett show. That was a show back when there was only like 3 shows.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. And they were good.
They were very good.
The Honeymooners is a good fucking
Awesome,
show.
awesome.
For like that kind of a sitcom,
Yeah.
it is a good fucking show.
My wife, she DVRs the Carol Burnett show now. I watch the couples laughing my balls
They're
off.
good, man.
I mean,
She
the
was
writing
good.
is funny and smart.
Yeah. And then, what's up?
You want to hear his voice?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Kazoo?
Yeah. Wait, that's...
Yeah,
I don't know
maybe
what's going on there.
listen to it first.
That's a song. The Great Kazoo song.
Lucille Ball. Like that's another fucking.
Look,
I Love Lucy was a great fucking show.
Yeah, I liked the dialogue between her and her husband, but when I got into the silly shit with her falling into chocolate and shit, which
You
is
didn't
what
think
made
that
her
was
famous.
hilarious?
I don't know. She lost me a little bit there.
I did.
But
I
well written
loved it.
show. And he came up with it. The 3-camera shoot thing.
That was back when it was okay for a white chick to bang a Cuban guy too.
Yeah.
They can't
But
do that
get
now?
beat up by it.
Well,
before-
Cuba was like sophisticated, like in the 50s and the 60s.
Yes,
like
the hotels
People
were
would go down there
much
on
swankier.
vacation. It was very mobbed up. You know, they'd go down there and gamble. It was a wild place. So a guy from Cuba was like a romantic guy.
right.
Like a guy who was a fucking musician from Cuba was like, whoa, this guy's like exciting. He's exotic. You know, it was like a good thing for her to be
Right.
dating this guy with this funky accent. Whereas from then on, from the embargo on, it became, you know, this enemy that lived off our shores and the Castro years and all that crazy shit and the Bay of Pigs and the fucking Russian missiles where they were putting missiles in Cuba facing America. It got fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And that was
Came
all
close.
post I Love Lucy, which is pretty fucking fascinating.
I blame it on her. Now that you mention it.
Now you feel
Fucking redheaded
really put it
bitch.
together.
That Fred Mertz, I'll tell you, he was a real anti-Cuban guy.
I saw Carol Burnett last year. I saw her in a restaurant.
Did you
She's
really?
hanging in there. Carol Burnett's hanging in there. Yeah, she looked good, man.
She's still alive?
Yeah, she looked
Oh,
very
yeah.
healthy. Very healthy, very vibrant, talking to the
Yeah,
waitress.
She
You know,
was
it's
on
like,
a talk
wow.
show. She did. She looked. She's
like-
got to be over 80.
She's got to be.
Way over.
And how about Betty White?
She's
another
82.
one. She's 82?
I just saw Betty White jogging by this building like 10 minutes ago.
For real?
No.
Yeah, that's how you know when things are bad for you. Do 80-year-old ladies do it? Yeah, then don't do it.
I used to make fun of these workouts. People jumping around in the living room. I go, how the fuck these people really think they're going to get in shape?
I do this
Now
with-
I live for it.
You love those things.
They
you do.
My problem, and you know this, Joe, when you get your heart rate up, for the next 2 days I'm starving.
Right.
I can't stop, and I have no willpower. My wife, she's one of these people that, you know, fucking eats anything and doesn't gain weight, and I can't go to bed till I eat, like, you know, 3
Like a
sandwiches.
pig.
I can't help myself. What do you do? Does weed kill the hunger?
No,
Makes it
not
worse.
at all. No, it doesn't
Coke? Do I have to
kill
go
it.
back to doing coke?
No.
Then I wouldn't have to exercise if I did that.
Yep.
I think it's just about
Right.
moderation. got to give yourself moderation. Give yourself one night a week where you really go off and you're allowed to have sandwiches. You're allowed to fucking stay up and eat cookies and milk. And that's what I do. I'll have like a night a week where I just eat like a fucking slob in front of the TV.
But that's like going, that's like going, get a nice blowjob and then fucking no more blowjobs for another 6 days.
But you needed it again. You need those cookies again.
I have no willpower with it. I don't eat cookies and shit. I don't like, but.
What do you eat?
What's your thing?
I don't know.
Pastrami.
No, I'm not even like a junk food guy, but my wife is. I open the thing and there's a fucking 8-pound bag of smart cheddar popcorn.
I love cooking for myself late at night. And everyone's asleep.
I cook all the time.
Sometimes I'll just cook a full meal for myself.
Late at night?
Late at night. 2 o'clock in the morning.
Do you?
I'll make vegetables. I'll make some pasta. I'm like, why not? What is there I'm a grown-ass man.
And you're going to work out the next day.
Yeah,
with
I pay
kettlebells
taxes,
and
God
shit.
damn it.
No, you're right. Life's too short.
Yeah, why not?
No.
I'm a fucking comic. If I want to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I never went to bed before 4 o'clock in the morning until I was almost 30 years old. Like, as a comic,
I'm the same
unless I had
way.
to work.
Even now, though.
Do you make proper
feel
meals, or do you make like inventions of like?
Sometimes it's bullshit. Sometimes I'll do a Blue Apron. I'll do one of those Blue Apron meals. You ever seen that?
No.
It's one of my sponsors. I'm not trying to work in a sponsor.
No, I know.
But
You don't like
it's
that.
It's great. They give you this detailed directions for how to cook something with photographs and all the right portions, all the right food in the right portions, and you just cook it. You just follow it. It's idiot proof. And it's great. Like, you don't have to measure anything. You just say, oh, next step, open that packet, throw that in there, mix that up, and then put the fish on the grill. And it's
Yeah, see, you're making a nice fish in the grill at 2 in the morning. I'm making a 6-pound Bergeau, which is, stuffed with mozzarella and salami. And
my favorite thing is grilling meat in my underwear late at night.
Fuck underwear.
Fuck underwear. Your dick must be scarred to shit.
Yeah, the hot splatters.
Yeah.
I want to protect my balls and shaft at the very least. Everything else, like I'll deal with a little hot grease splatter on my stomach. Looks sexy. Oh, more wounds.
Do you still do the kettlebell thing?
Yeah, I still do that. Yeah,
you look good.
Thank you.
You look ripped, brother.
You look too. There's a great video I do called the Extreme Kettlebell Cardio Workout. It's this one little kettlebell. You could do it like a 35-pounder, or if you want to get crazy, go to 45 pounds. So it's not a heavy weight. But
swinging at P. Diddy's kid?
No, he swung at the coach.
No, I know.
That was almost perfect.
I was in such a rush to get it out, I butchered it. This goddamn coffee is delicious. I'm on my 5th pot. I'm going to have to fucking take a hit of that joint, slow me down.
It might not slow you down.
Is that right?
Might fucking turn you. So what did P. Diddy not? He didn't make contact.
No.
He swung it.
Yeah, just being his level-headed self,
Yeah, and how's that work? That's not good.
He got off.
Weapon.
He didn't. They dropped. Yeah, they dropped the charge.
Coach, they didn't want to press charges.
Really?
Yeah, which probably means a big, huge thing of cash.
God, fucking.
Yeah.
And that coach had a bit of a history himself. Like, he's the guy that tripped the guy on the sideline when he was coaching for the Jets.
Oh, really?
Against the Miami Dolphins, the guy was covering a punt, and he ran out of bounds. And this coach sticks his foot out. They got him on slow motion, tripping the guy.
That's hilarious.
I kind of like a guy for that. I don't know why.
That sounds like a real fun guy to have coach.
Yeah.
Sounds like it'd be really hard not to beat that guy's ass.
It's like Sal News or some Italian guy from Long Island. But
I don't know I know almost nothing about sports, unfortunately. And when Artie came on to do the podcast, he was so upset with me. He was so upset with me. He was like, I told him I turned vegan and started.
You're not vegan, are you?
No, no. But I mean, it was like that. He was like, "What? Really? You don't follow anything?" I was like, "No, I don't follow anything. Not baseball." Like he was incredulous. He's like, "There's no way."
Well, you're a UFC guy. You got enough going on, don't you? I mean, that's the fucking hottest sport going.
Well, I watch professional pool. It's not like I'm not into stupid shit.
Right.
I just don't have enough time for any other things.
Did you play him in pool? Because he can shoot.
He plays good.
I know.
He played good, yeah. We played
hustling people like in Newark when he was 12.
That's what he said. I believe him. He plays good. Artie's a fun dude, man.
Absolutely.
He's a funny fucking dude. He was a perfect example of a great joke that, people didn't just cry too soon. They said, you can't even say this. And this was when Artie said that he was banging this black chick. And he goes, and in the middle of it, she goes, I can't breathe. He goes, hey, honey, let's not make this political. And this was right after Eric Garner
that's why
was
it's
killed.
funny.
I mean, it was so fucking hilarious. And so many people were mad at him. And I could not stop laughing when I heard it. I could not stop laughing. Just because, not because I, think it's funny that the guy got choked to death. I'm 100% against that. But that is a goddamn funny joke.
That's why it's funny.
And if you can't see the funny in that, it's either because you're friends with Eric Gardner or you're an asshole.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't think that's funny? Come on, that's fucking funny.
Fucking hilarious. Absolutely.
That's Artie. He's a fucking character, man.
Let me ask you something, Joe. Have you ever played? I'm doing this club tonight, Ventura Harbor Comedy Club.
I heard it's really good.
I'm doing that next month.
I heard it's really good.
I
think Callan. No, I haven't done it. Callan just did it though.
Oh, he did?
He said it was amazing. It was Callan. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Callan.
Okay.
Or Duncan. Who the fuck did it? I don't know. I think it was Callan.
Yeah.
But I've heard great things.
Yeah, I'm there next month.
That area is very ignored. Like Ventura and into Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara's very ignored.
That's what worries me.
It's a great spot.
No, it's cool.
No, I mean ignored by comics.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, fucking Santa Barbara's one of the best places. And if you go down there, they don't.
It's not that far up, thank God.
No, Santa Barbara's an hour from here.
No, but this isn't Ventura.
This isn't Ventura.
Ventura's close.
Yeah.
It's 40
45
miles.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 45
exactly.
minutes.
Exactly.
It's a good spot, man.
Yeah.
They're doing a levity out there. They're going to do a levity out in that area.
Are they really?
Yeah. I saw it the other day. I was driving by.
Maybe they'll let me do the one that's 20 minutes from my fucking house.
Maybe they do it. Are you going to live here again?
No, there's one. I live in Westchester County, New York.
I thought you meant out here.
And you go over, you go over the Tappan Zee Bridge. It's literally the Levity Live there at the mall is like 22 minutes from me. And I haven't done a weekend yet.
Never?
Yeah, nope.
How dare they?
Oh, they have problems.
Levity
but I'm doing one in
Live.
January finally.
Jesus Christ, Levity Live. Oh, you're booked.
Yeah.
You are booked.
In January. But for the first time. I should have done it 8 times by
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I mean, I did Wednesdays there, which is fun. Have you been in that one?
No, I haven't been there.
Dude.
Great.
I went over there going, oh, Jesus, that's what we need, another club in a mall. You walk in there, it is fucking gorgeous. It's the sound system is as good as anything I've ever talked into in my life. And it's just a gorgeous club.
Wow.
I'm plugging you guys. Thank you guys that didn't book me for 3 years. You're welcome.
Best sound system I've ever heard in a club or any place is that Terry Fedor Theater at the Mirage where everybody performs.
If it's over 400 seats, I don't know about it.
Diaz was on stage, and I was in the back of the room, and I could hear him crystal clear. Because they designed that for the Terry Fedor guy, the ventriloquist.
Right.
If you're a ventriloquist, like
You have to have
clear
acoustic.
sound is super important. So the whole room is just like sound engineered. It's amazing. I never thought of that before. Until like a club like Laugh Boston had a problem when they first opened. They fixed it. I worked there and it was great.
Yeah.
But before they had like an acoustic problem.
I think you told me that. Somebody told me that, and then they fixed it too.
I think it was Ari. I think it was Ari. Because
Maybe,
Ari
yeah.
told me. I'd never worked there, but Ari worked there in the beginning. It was like, some problems here. Like people are struggling to hear shit.
Yeah.
That's the worst. Have you ever done a gig like that?
Oh, yeah.
You've done like those Boston comedy gigs?
Well, the improvs, like in Pittsburgh, you could hit fungos in there and fucking practice punting, and you couldn't hit the ceiling. They're like, the key to a good comedy club, and how people who open comedy clubs don't know this at this point,
Yeah.
because comedy clubs have been around for fucking ever, is a low ceiling.
Yeah.
It's the first thing you want. It keeps the energy in the room, in the comic's face, in the audience's face. That's the first thing you do. I get to the improv a couple of years ago, like somewhere in Pittsburgh. I fucking like, hello. I sounded like Lou Gehrig doing that speech when I'm the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Like, and they couldn't understand me, Joe, between my Boston accent and between the fucking echoing. It was like I was playing to like 400 Guatemalans. They're just staring at me, going, I can't understand this prick.
That's the worst.
And then I'd just go, Jack Lambert. And the whole crowd would go nuts.
It's the worst when they can't hear you. It's the most frustrating thing one of the most frustrating things about being a comic.
How about when you can't hear yourself?
Yeah.
Like the monitors aren't working or something?
That's bad.
It's like talking into a dead microphone. That really fucks me up.
You have to scream a whole show. I did a show in Vegas once where I had to scream my whole show because they couldn't hear me because it was so echoey and stuff. By the time I was done, I was like, didn't even have a voice anymore.
But sometimes when the monitor and you can't hear yourself, so you tend to talk louder, but they can hear you.
Right. Maybe that was it too.
Yeah, that happens too, though.
Yeah.
People are like, why is he yelling?
Why is he screaming?
I did a bachelor party once, and I had like a little carry-on speaker, like a little tiny, like one of those things you would plug into like a guitar to practice in the basement. That was what they had. They had a speaker, and they had a cord that was plugged into it, and this really tinny microphone. And I'm standing right in front of the guys. They're like right where you are, and I'm holding a microphone. I'm like, why do I even have a microphone? You guys are right here. Like, this is the most ridiculous fucking show of all time. Just standing in a bar in a basement somewhere in Boston doing comedy, holding a microphone, looking at guys right in front of me with my voice is loud.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's so stupid. Yeah. Didn't you do a gig? You did a gig, one of those Boston gigs. That was one of those. There was a disco where they would clear out the dance floor.
In Quincy. Yes.
Did you get in a fight with somebody there?
No, probably not. I don't think there were any punches thrown.
That was the rumor. The rumor was that Nick beat the shit out of somebody.
No. I've been in 2 fights, and we talked about this last time. I've been in 2 fights in my life, and as far as comedy, and they were both at clubs called Giggles.
Oh, that's right.
But one was in Seattle, and one was in Saugus. They had nothing to do with each other.
That's hilarious.
That's telling you something. I shouldn't be at a place called Giggles, but yeah, but I know the one you're talking about.
I'd heard
in Quincy. It was a one-nighter. We all did it.
Yeah.
And like you said, the people be dancing and shit. All of a sudden, you hear the needle go across the record. That's all. And all of a sudden, they'd put a bag over the crystal ball that's spinning over the dance floor. And here comes Joe Rogan. And people are still dancing. Fucking, they turn off. They wouldn't even tell the people there's a comedy show. They didn't even know there was going to be a comedy show, and you're up there. How are you, folks? They're like, fuck you, we want to dance.
It's so stupid. They did so many of those.
And, like, good comics would do it. I remember Jonathan Katz talking about it.
Yeah.
And, Barry Crimmins. We all,
you needed the money. If you needed the money and you lived in Boston, it's an easy gig. You drive an hour, you make $200.
That's right. And you could do, in the 80s, you could do... Christ, like 18 months in, I was closing 2 or 3 rooms on a Friday night, coming home with $600-700 in cash.
It was crazy.
Can you imagine that? I mean,
there were so many outside booking agents between Billy Downs and Barry, and then there was a bunch of other smaller ones, and there was like Sherry Hirsch and Norm LaFoe. They had gigs like in Western Massachusetts, and John Schuler if you wanted to go to Connecticut, and everybody. Like Boston comedy had so many fucking rooms, man.
Every pub, and when people always ask me that when I started out, every pub and restaurant in New England, not just Massachusetts. You could look at my book, my first year. I'd be at like a ski lodge in Burlington, Vermont on Monday night. Tuesday night at a Chinese restaurant in Providence, Rhode Island. Wednesday night back in the city at Stitches. Thursday at a Mexican restaurant in Franklin, Massachusetts. Ask if you ever talk to Louis C.K., he's got them all memorized. He can tell you.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He still remembers them. I remember Mike Clark calling me. I'd been in the business about 8 months. It's snowing like a bastard. I'm living on Comm Ave in Boston in a shitty apartment. Mike calls me 1 in the afternoon. He goes, you want to do a gig in New London, Connecticut? I look outside. There's a blizzard. The snow is blowing sideways. We've already got like 11 inches. I go, yeah. He goes, you want to work my brother Lenny? Lenny was our idol then. And I'm like, I'll be there. Talking about a 3-hour drive in a blizzard. I get there. It's me and Lenny, and there's 9 people in the audience. And the guy goes to Lenny, I need an hour out of you, like real sternly. And Lenny's like, okay, motherfucker. He starts giggling to me. And then we're sitting at the table, and he goes to the guy that owns the place. He goes, Dick, come on, sit down over here. About 2 minutes into the conversation, Lenny knocks a cup of coffee over on me. I know he did it on purpose. It was so intentional.
So he knocks it on you?
No, he knocked it on the guy. He was going to make him do an hour. Okay. And he was like, oh, sorry, Jesus Christ. And then he's laughing. Lenny's laughing and winking at me. And then Lenny goes on and does an hour without taking a break. Like there was 600 people there.
Wow.
I mean, that's when I was like, oh my God, that's a headliner. He didn't take a break. It was one 60-minute run-on sentence, and he murdered those 9 people.
Wow.
I couldn't even figure out how to get the mic out of the stand, Joe. It's one of those clip mics. I'm like, fucking thing comes unplugged.
That's hilarious.
And Lenny goes on and just I go, oh my God, that's how it's done. And I don't mean working the audience. I mean an hour of jokes in front of like 9 people.
That was that style of comedy too. Like Lenny embodied that style, that fucking attack style of comedy. Yeah. There was Lenny was one of the first guys that I ever worked for. I worked for Warren McDonald I opened up for him.
Sure.
Remember Warren McDonald?
Yes.
I opened up for him in like Chicopee, Mass.
That's George's older brother.
Yeah. George McDonald, who was open mic night guy when I was coming up. He
My
was the
first
host.
open mic, he was the host.
Was he really?
Oh, Christ, yeah.
Wow, that guy's been around.
Yeah, it said Comedy Hell on the...
Yeah,
that's what it said on the
Comedy Hell
sign.
at Stitches.
My
Yep.
first night I pulled up, I saw the marquee, I almost went, I don't want to do this.
That was that cool little room too. That little room only fit like what would that fit, like 100
About 100,
people?
probably 125 people.
Yeah, at the most. What a great little room.
I was opening for Lenny had his own show on Friday night there, and this is when I was going back, and it's my second year. I had just moved down to New York. I hadn't moved down to New York. I was driving back and forth. We had an apartment, me and Louie down here. I had to go back to Stitches. I took the train back, and the train was late and shit, so I'm late getting to Stitches. It's Lenny's show, and Kenny Rogerson's like the middle and shit. Can you imagine I'm the rookie on the show? I get there late. Kenny's already on.
Oh, no.
So they are like furious. So I go out. Stitches had a little ticket booth. That's how you entered the stage, from the ticket booth on the side. So I go out there. I don't have more than 20 minutes, right, Joe? At that point. I don't have 20 good minutes. I run out of material. I'm like, good night, everybody. I go, good night. I go off stage. That door's locked. So now I'm up on a stage. I can't get out. The only way I can get out is jump off the front of it. The audience is staring at me. The door's locked. They won't let me in the... So I go back to the microphone and I start going, so what do you do for a living?
Oh, my God.
And they wouldn't unlock the door for like 5 minutes. And then I went over and I go, come on, guys. And now the audience is laughing at me and shit. And then Kenny Rogerson opened the door. He goes, fucking be on time, motherfucker. That was a lesson.
Those road gigs were often hazardous.
Is that where you did your open mic, your first one at Stitches?
Yeah. That was my first time, August 27th, 1988. That was Jonathan Katz. He was the host.
Wow.
Yeah. It's wild.
I did it the spring before.
And I remember, fuck, man. A couple really good comics went up that night, too. Like guys that were local guys go in town, do the open mic, like pros. But the big one, well, there was a couple of big ones, but Teddy Bergeron was the biggest one. Teddy Bergeron slayed it so smooth as silk. And I remember being just the rawest of raw. First day ever open mic. You can't get any rawer. I remember watching Teddy Bergeron just going, fuck, he's so smooth. He was just so slick.
Yeah, he would. That's right. He would MC some of the open mics at Stitches,
yeah.
and he'd go on as a character called Alston Brighton, which is the two towns outside of. He'd do this English accent, and I'm going, this guy was on the Tonight Show. He sucks. He was just doing some character. Hello there, good to be here at Stitches, and just do these shitty jokes on purpose. And I'm going, this guy was on the Tonight, because you don't know anything about comedy then. I go, how the fuck has this guy been on it with Johnny Carson? And I go, who is it? He'd go on as Alston. I thought his name was Alston Brighton for the first 6 months, and then I see him at Nick's one night get like a standing ovation.
Yeah, you see him do his real act.
And I was like, oh my God, I know nothing about what I do.
Did you ever see his Tonight Show set?
Yes.
Fucking genius.
Oh yeah.
One of the best Tonight Show sets ever.
Yeah, it's in that movie when Stand Up Stood Out. Oh, they show him sitting down, I think, in that movie. But yeah, killer.
And then he just went off the rails. But when he was in his prime is when Nick was like, you were like a little bit ahead of me, like maybe a year, I think.
I did. No, you.
Something like 6 months to a year.
Yeah,
something like
probably.
That.
Yeah,
6 months.
Yeah, I did. The spring of '87 was my first open mic.
So we were both there when Teddy was in his prime, like when he was just hot and fucking just smooth. And just would go up
Brilliant.
there. He had this style. It was so casual. Like there was a lot of guys like Lenny had this amazing style of a fucking attack. Ah!
Right.
And he would just bam, 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 bam.
Right.
But Teddy would go up and make it look so effortless.
Right. He was the only one, you're right, that wasn't doing that Boston attack. He had his own. He was a little more evolved, I think.
He was so good. He was so good.
But the alcohol is what...
Pills, alcohol, the whole deal, whatever it was that grabbed him.
I did one night with him in Nahant, right? And I get there, and I'm opening for him, some restaurant like in Nahant. And then he comes in, and I bring him up. And as I'm coming off the stage, he goes, I'm double parked, move my car. So he gives me his keys, and I go out and I move his car, and I come back in, and I'm watching him, and I'm having a few drinks. And then I get in my car, and I go see this girl in Lynn that I was seeing at the time. And I call and check my answer machine messages, you know, at my house in Woburn, my apartment, and it's a beep. Nick, Teddy Bergeron. Yeah, it's the show ended an hour ago. You have my fucking keys, my car keys. I left with his keys. Beep. Another message. So it was like 8 messages. He's now, and he's a horrible, like, alcohol will kill this guy. So the next beep's like 40 minutes later. Nick, you fucking asshole. I'm fucking still at the fucking club.
Oh, my God.
I had to fucking, find him and get him his keys, but he left like 6 messages and he was getting more drunk. I played him over and over for comics I know. He couldn't even talk. It's like 4 in the morning. I was with this girl who I wanted to bang for years, you know? Fucking, after the first few messages, I go, I'm not leaving here for another hour. I go, he's fine. He's in the, and the poor bastard was stranded there till, I don't know, I got to him at 3 in the morning, maybe.
Maybe it was good that you didn't give him his keys when he drove drunk.
Yeah. He wasn't drinking, though, when I left. I think I drove him to drink. You know what I mean? Because each message, you could hear him getting worse. Can you imagine? And I'm fucking sitting there, you know, I didn't check my messages for a while after I got to that girl's apartment. But, that's my Teddy Bergeron story.
I missed that disco gig. The disco gig had already closed by the time I was getting paid. I heard about it when I was doing open mics.
The Quincy dance floor?
The one that you got on. I did one that was in the waiting room of a restaurant. And the stand-up mic, it was a Mike Clark gig. And it was a one-time only. It was only me, one-man show. And they canceled it right after I did it. I called Mike as soon as I got home. It was the most ridiculous thing. The PA system was attached to the stand-up microphone. And it was a big fish restaurant down the Cape. So that there was this big waiting room of people.
I know.
You know that gig? Did you know it? So you'd be on the stage. So I'm saying there's no way we can do this unless Johnson, party at 2. Your table's ready. Johnson, party at 2. And the first time they did it, I just went, no fucking way. This can't be real. And it was so ridiculous that the audience just started laughing. Like, whereas I was probably bombing before that. It probably wasn't going so well. Because it was just, nobody knew there was going to be a comedy show.
Oh, okay.
They had a band. The band stopped. And then
really? I never did that.
I don't even know I don't remember if they introduced me. My memory fucking blows. Sometimes I get like real crystal images of like really important shit. But other times, like when you told me that I ran after you in the car, I was like, God, I swore I called them.
No, you got me on the way to the car.
Yeah, but now that you say it, now I know that I ran out.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why did I have that stupid fake memory in my head?
That's weird.
Because I remember you running out, and I'm going, oh, fuck. Is he going to yell at me? I must have fucking blown this audition.
I think dreams kind of fuck with your past memories. Because I dreamt something once a long time ago, and I remembered that I had told somebody about this dream, and then I forgot that was wasn't real. Because I said I was talking about my friend, and I was like, oh yeah, and she works, I think, at this place downtown, and I'm like, wait, no, that's something I dreamt.
Brian, that's weed, man. It's not good for your mind. You guys don't believe any of that?
No, not at all. I remember too much shit.
Well, that's not going to wipe it out completely, but
I remember way too much shit. I think short term, though, for sure.
Short term, yeah,
no doubt about it. It fucks with it short term. Like, we could be talking about something, and I'll go, "What did we just say?" Like, there's like blips of missing information, but I think that those blips exist because there's a vacuum created by all this new shit that's flying at you. And I think the new shit that's flying at you, if you're still trying to hold on to your thought that you just had a couple moments ago, you're resisting the zen of the experience of the marijuana. See, if you just relax.
It's funny because it's a catch-22 for me because I have insomnia. I have a fucking horrible time. It doesn't matter what time zone I'm in, what planet, what state. If I go to bed, I wake up 2 hours later or
Do you
3.
wake up angry and complaining?
No, I feel good. I feel rested for that moment. But I'm not going to get up. It's only 4 in the morning, right? So I try to go back to sleep, and then I'll wake up an hour and a half later, and then I'll wake up at 8, and then 9, and I feel horrible, and it's affecting me on stage. Even now, when we were just telling stories, a couple of names I couldn't remember. What were we talking about?
You need a new mood.
I couldn't remember the actor's name, you know, and it's fucking weird. But everybody's like, yes, you smoke weed, it'll put you to sleep. But it also, I know it does a number on your memory if you get in the habit of doing it, right?
Yeah. Well, I think if you did it every day, all day, it would definitely fuck you up.
Yeah.
100%. But I think if you do it a little bit every now and again, it's good for you. I really do.
I'd need it every night.
You should do
but it's not bad.
melatonin.
Dude, that's the first thing everybody suggests.
Or Zamti.
Dude, I've tried everything. I've drank cat piss. I've fucking.
Whoa, that's your problem.
That's what's
that's
keeping
right.
you
It's
up.
loaded with caffeine, isn't it?
Did you get it right from the
That's
source?
what's keeping you.
It's all this fucking anger.
No, it's.
Have you ever had
I've
that?
done all that shit.
Have you ever had that cat shit coffee? You ever heard that coffee called Kopi Luwak?
It's a cat shit or raccoon shit?
What's a civet? It's like I think it's like
I
related
don't think you have to go any
cat.
further with the conversation. I'm all set, thanks. I'll stick.
These people.
My Sanka.
They figure. Sanka was the perfect reference.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Sanka was Folger's brothers, 2 words.
Yeah.
Sanka's one.
Sanka.
Sanka's perfect. But Jesus Christ, that is so fucking funny.
You remember Sanka, Joe?
I do. There's this animal called civet, and it eats the coffee beans and then shits them out. And when it goes through its digestive tract, the digestive enzymes break down the outer
is that
layer
right?
of the coffee.
We got something for that. It's called a coffee filter. I don't need it to go through a fucking cat's ass. Fucking feline cunt.
You're missing the point, sir. The digestive enzymes or juices of the cat's stomach make it a smoother coffee.
And this company's where, in Liberia, where they're still wiping their ass with banana leaves and rocks? Okay.
Like, yeah, they eat a bunch of cranberries and stuff.
Yeah, that's the little animal.
Look at that little fucking ferret-looking...
Look at the poop. It looks like what's that
it's
candy
a payday bar.
Payday.
That's the shit. That's the shit. I ate 2 of those for breakfast this morning.
Yeah. That's how paydays are made.
That's a fucking payday bar.
See, those beans have all been sort of stripped.
Yeah, I'm all set. I'd rather have a Colombian guy crushing them with his bare feet.
So apparently their bodies don't digest the actual bean itself.
Yeah, apparently.
So they eat the outside. The outside of a coffee bean, I read somewhere that green, there's like the outside of like like the juice from an actual coffee bean.
It's green. The bean is green before it.
Yeah, and it was like a little red too, but it's supposed to be really good for you, whatever that is.
Yeah, I saw that on Dr. Oz, and I actually ordered the shit. It's supposed to help you lose weight.
That Dr. Oz motherfucker, though.
I know. I Googled the motherfucker. I said he's so handsome. I have to order this shit. No,
they're mad at him. The American Medical Association very mad at him. Yeah, they got pissed at him. He had to go before Congress because of some fake diet pill.
He got
shit.
owned.
Did he get owned?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was ugly, but it's amazing.
He's still on the air. He couldn't get on that bad.
Yeah, but that's just because he's Oprah's bitch.
Yeah. Somebody should went after Oprah in her day.
Oprah just
fucking spelling her lies.
Starts peeling off numbers. You know, what do we have to do to make this go away? Oprah has to get Oprah's money.
Glad she went away finally.
Well, she went away because she made more money than any human being ever, and she's like, "What the fuck's the point of doing this talk show
nobody
anymore?"
wanted to hear from her anymore. She can't even get ratings on her own fucking network.
Dare you, Nick DiPaolo?
Please.
How dare you?
Fucking.
First of all, these ratings are racist. There's a bunch of white males that are running that rating board, and they deny Oprah's real, true ratings.
That's probably would be the argument in court today.
They don't even know. I don't think. Do you think how accurate do you think they really are at knowing ratings?
Nowadays, they're way more accurate because they're actually getting. I heard they're actually getting numbers from cable boxes and stuff nowadays.
Can they do that without your consent?
I like the Nielsen family myself.
It's probably in that
that's a great
big
idea.
contract at the beginning when you turn on your cable box. And
probably right. The Nielsens were like how many families? And
there were 3. They lived right next to me. Fucking loud, obnoxious. Always had the TVs on.
There wasn't that many people that did when they did the they still do it, right? They still do it. They have a certain.
Do they really?
Still pretty sure.
I thought they just knocked on your door and said, "What do you want?"
No,
how many Nielsen families are there?
They still do it. I remember growing up, my friend's dad was like a vice president of this big insurance company, and they had one on their TV. So it was kind of weird that they had one.
There's Leslie Nielsen.
That's not the same.
That's one of the families. There's
That's a funny guy, man. Think about that guy. That guy's entire life, 300 homes, 1,300 apiece. Huh. Okay, 2 largest local, this is New York and Los Angeles, will have their sample sizes increased by 300 homes next year, about 1,300 apiece. So that's New York and Los Angeles is 2,600. This is in 2014.
2,600 homes of people.
But that's just 2,600 homes in, that's just in New York and L.A.
That's 51,000 Puerto Ricans right there.
How dare you? How dare you, Nick
Look
DiPaolo.
at the left coast. Can't laugh at any of this shit. Everybody just clams up. It's all fucking nervous.
Why is
it's turned into Mexico? You're afraid to fucking laugh at it.
Is that what it is? It's just more liberal out here, right? Do you think it's more liberal out here? Do you feel the difference when you do stand up?
I haven't really done stand up, but just going into Hertz at LAX, I can see it's much more liberal. And
going into
Hertz.
Oh,
Rent the
Hertz.
car. There's no.
Yeah. Why? What's going on there?
I don't know. I didn't see anybody that spoke English. A guy mumbling to me in some accent, and it was rudder. The place was rudderless. No fucking manager. 40 people in line, 3 people behind the counter, nobody taking charge, nobody that looked like me, nobody looked like you.
Wow.
Yeah.
DiPaolo.
A little well, no, you can fucking live in this world and put up with that shit, but...
You can't do it?
No, I can do it. I'm just saying. You asked me. No, it's much more liberal up here.
White men renting me my fucking cars.
No,
only.
that's not what I'm saying at all, Joe. Just let the white guy fucking manage it.
Whoa.
It's one thing we can do.
Whoa.
Jesus.
Wait a minute.
Listen to you guys.
You've been out
so
since
the other guys-
2015.
Yeah, it
The other
is.
guys
Why don't you wake the
work.
fuck up,
Wow,
Brian?
wake the fuck up,
Just
Brian.
because you
It's
grew
all
up in
about
this shit.
white car rental managers.
I'm just... No,
That's
you
what's
asked me if it was
important.
much more liberal. I'm fucking kidding.
These are jokes, ladies and gentlemen. We don't.
Oh, yeah, I
make the
forgot you had
politics.
advertisers and shit.
No, not right now.
Not anymore.
They're later.
What happened?
I do them later. I splice them in.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You even have control over that?
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because this way we just have a conversation. You know,
Yeah.
the other way of like interrupting, doing in the beginning was always awkward because the guest would be sitting there and I'd have to
Yeah.
go through 5 minutes of stupid ads, and then doing it in the middle was always out of the question. So now I just do it this way.
Good for you.
It's the way to
Good
do it.
thinking.
DiPaolo, come on,
It's a situation. It's a good situation.
It looks like in 2005, Nielsen started using things like TiVo and cable boxes and stuff like that, and even finding when people turned off a show. So they even know how accurate, as if the first commercial break, if people left the show.
Oh, damn.
So it's super accurate now.
That's some Big Brother type shit right there. Yeah. It's weird. I mean, just the only way to find out really is you got to do that. And why does it bother us? Because it doesn't bother us when you see like YouTube hits. You know, if you put up a YouTube video and it gets 17 million hits, well, it's all right there. You can see it. 17 million hits.
Yeah, they don't want you to know
who
the
cares?
numbers.
Yeah.
It's weird. In radio, it's hard to get numbers.
Real hard to get numbers in radio.
Well, they don't want you to know. You could be making them a ton of money. They're going, no, you only have 70 listeners. This is why we're...
I don't think they know. When it comes to radio, like that Arbitron book, I think that is just fucking guess.
Yeah, the whole thing's a mess.
It's a guess.
Ratings where they keep changing it.
Yeah.
Now they have things people walk around with it clipped onto their belt. And they're supposed to click it if they're listening to it.
That's so stupid. They're not going to click that.
No, exactly.
And if they do, they're assholes anyway. You don't want them.
Exactly. You're wearing that? I don't want you as a listener.
Unless you're getting a lot of money for that, dude. Unless they're giving you like $500 a week to wear that stupid thing. Like, I don't know why you would wear that. It just like, so it could be like a Shazam-based thing. You know, like, so as things are playing, you listen to it. But even then, you know what I mean? Like Shazam, like picks. You know that app? Do you know it?
No, I don't.
It's great. Like if there's a song playing, you don't know what it is. Like what the fuck?
Oh,
is that
yeah.
song? You hold it up and
it
it'll
tells you.
tell you like instantly.
Yeah, my wife told me.
It's so crazy. Like it doesn't even make sense that it works, and it works so well. Like you look at it happening, and you're going, "That is, it's instant. It just knows the beat."
They should have that if, like, you're in a nightclub and you're gonna pick up a chick, you hold it up to her, see if she's fucking crazy or not. It tells you her IQ
I don't
and
think it
her.
would work that way. But if they could tell you your heart rate from Xbox One, imagine if you could fucking put it in front of a girl and just tell you how crazy she is. They give you like a 1 to 10. It just scans her body and lets you know, like, look what's going on in her head. There's a fucking ping pong game happening right now with all our different personalities and throwing balls at each other. Let's go home. We're religious. I'm a child of God. Let's suck his cock.
A mental
Just ding dong, ding
dodgeball
dong, ding
game.
dong. They just trying to figure out which way to go. Always completely unstable. If they could find out your heart rate, that would. I mean, how the fuck are they finding out your heart rate by looking at you on some screen? Unless you're wearing a device. You must be wearing a device. Are you wearing anything?
No, it's thermal, I think.
It's got 3 cameras pointing at you, and they're all different. It's not just like a regular video camera.
So the 3 cameras pointing at you, what are they reading?
One's thermal. The other is like where you are displaced in the room. But it's reading like heat, really. It's gauging that into a.
Is this an app we're
heart.
talking about?
It's Xbox One.
Oh.
So if it's gauging heat, do you have to program in how warm your room is, how much you weigh?
It knows how big you are. It can tell.
Yeah,
It knows when you've been sleeping,
and it's tons of little
knows when you're awake.
tons of little
Exactly.
dots over you, so it reads like it's super accurate. Like it can read your hands, like going like this, that accurate. Like
Whoa.
it's pretty. The new one, Xbox One.
What the fuck, man? I'm missing out on all this.
You can easily get an X. You should have an Xbox One.
you shouldn't
I
have.
used
How
the
many
last
times
UFC.
as it is?
I watched the last UFC on an Xbox One, and it was so easy. It's just like order right
Dude,
through Xbox.
I'm moving towards doing less shit. That's what I'm moving towards.
Good
I'm
for
not
you.
moving towards doing anything more. I've been enjoying relaxing lately. That's a lost art, you know. Everybody's hustling, going by. How about
if I had your money, fuck, I'd have been relaxing 10 years ago.
Would you?
Oh yeah.
What have you been doing? What would you do?
I don't know.
What should I do? You could advise me.
I'd be smoking pot and floating in my pool.
There you go. With a big margarita.
I don't have a pool. I don't smoke pot. Let me change that answer.
You should have a fishing pond, Joe, somewhere that you can just sit there on a canoe and fish and smoke weed all day.
That's
long.
right. That is the day. No, seriously, that sounds perfect.
Perfect.
It's a fun day.
Thing of Heineken's in between your legs.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Isn't it funny that you're like nobody gives a fuck if you kill a fish?
Fuck fish.
People don't care about fish. But if there was like wild game preserves near Four Seasons in Hawaii, and dudes are coming in with like gutted moose or something like that, people would freak the fuck out. You can come with a marlin, big 1,500-pound marlin. Nobody gives a shit.
They're delicious. Moose is very tough.
It is. It's very delicious. But it's just weird that we don't give a shit if someone kills a fish in front of us. Like we have like very clear hierarchies, and it's not even about the size of the animal. It's about whether or not the animal's cute. Like if you have like a squirrel, you kill a squirrel in front of people will freak out if you kill a squirrel in front of them. But people eat squirrels. A lot of parts of the world, people eat squirrels. But if you kill a tuna in front of them, like a 500-pound tuna, most people don't even bat an eye. Weird, right?
I hate that. And you see like the Japanese cutting fins off sharks.
Ugh.
Is it the Japanese?
It's the Japanese show. Yes, don't get all nervous. It's a Japanese. I didn't fucking make it up.
Did you see that surfer with the shark on live TV?
I'm not saying we should kill all the sharks.
They cut the fins off them though, and let the rest of the fish drown.
It'll get eaten.
No, I know, but it's not
it's a good thing, but
they're using it for an aphrodisiac, making soup with it and shit.
Well, I think it's just delicious. Shark's fin soup. I think the aphrodisiac is like the horns, like rhino horns,
rhino
and shit
horns
like that.
too. Yes.
Tiger dick.
Yeah, tiger dick.
Tiger dick. They do something with tigers. I don't know if it's tiger dick, but
tiger dick.
That is fucked up though. They cut the fins off and just jump in the water.
Yeah, and they let them fucking drown.
What's kind of sociopathic?
Cruel?
Yeah, it's kind of creepy behavior.
Replace the fin. If you're gonna take it, put a fake one on.
Yeah, not only that, like, couldn't you use that meat for something? Like, can you sell it?
The shark meat?
Pet food or something like that?
Sure.
You know, I mean, it's probably good protein. Like, why would you just let it all go to waste like that? That seems like so silly. And then there's the numbers. Like, how many do they kill? They kill a lot. To get that shark fin soup, you got to kill a lot of fucking sharks. But that surfer video is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
How terrifying is that?
I'm surprised you didn't see, like, him shitting his pants all over the board.
It's amazing he didn't get bit. It's amazing. I mean, that thing is thrashing around.
I know. And that was a big fin.
A big fucking...
That was no little mako shark. Whatever. That was a shark. That
was like a 10-foot shark, right? If you had to guess. 9, 10-foot. How big did they think it was, Jamie?
I didn't see.
It seemed like it was like a 10-foot shark. But it's definitely big enough to fucking kill you.
Hell yeah.
Why do surfers not carry weapons on them? Like, why don't they have like some kind of taser or something that they can wear around their neck and in emergencies pop it off?
They should have an app for that.
I know.
Maybe it will help you. You know how you row, like a lot of guys, the paddleboard out there? Maybe there's like a new sport. Just like with a spear.
Hunting shark?
Yeah, because like
you draw the shark.
If you fucking miss, dude.
That's a good show. Pitch that one.
Well, you could probably get away with doing it if you did it with chainmail. If you had some sort of a fine chainmail shark suit on, you could probably get away with doing that. But, you know, to see whether or not you got bit. You know, what a badass paddleboarder you would have to be to take that risk. Fuck, dude. That could go wrong.
Yeah, that would be enough to keep me out of the water the rest of my life.
Well, that was in South Africa, right? South Africa is one of the worst spots in the world as far as shark attacks.
How about North Carolina this year?
Yeah, it's weird.
They were walking up on shore and biting people.
Richmond makes waves with homemade shark cages. Oh, I saw those people. These people walked out with a shark cage on.
It looks like a bird cage.
Yeah, not a bad move. Got them on TV.
This is 6-foot great white, by the way.
It was only 6 foot?
About. Yeah, that's what the guy said.
Wow.
That's big enough.
Yeah, that's plenty big to fuck you up.
That's as big as, you are.
Sharks, man. What a crazy animal.
Look at that guy's face.
Yeah, I'd rather be bit by the shark, I think.
Hi, guys.
Is that John Madden's gay son?
1,000th.
I don't think you get away from me. What a great idea. Sharks are just such a strange animal that they've got to a stage of existence where they just maintain the exact same form for hundreds of millions of years. That's all they've been doing for hundreds of millions of years. Like, they never improved. Like, if they stop swimming, they drown. It's a total shitty design. They can't sleep. They just swim around and jack things.
I can relate to that.
But isn't that, it's hilarious when you think about it. Like, it's a cleanup crew. It's like literally like the cleanup crew for the ocean. That's why it can't stop. It's not allowed to do what it wants to do. It can't just gorge itself and then just chill out.
No, it has to keep moving or it dies.
What a fucking bummer. What a bummer existence. You got to keep moving.
What's that called?
Can't
There's
sleep.
a term for that.
Fucked?
No, there's a term for when you have to keep moving. Tony Soprano had it.
Oh, perpetual motion?
You have to keep moving.
Is that it? Perpetual motion?
No,
Perpetual motion
it's like
is
a
the
medical
theory
term.
of trying to...
I forget.
How many people pretended to be Italian after The Sopranos? It's a large percentage.
I don't know.
After Goodfellas.
Yeah, all those movies.
All of them.
It's amazing how many mob movies there are. If you really think about like the amount of movies made about the Italians.
One guy just died from Godfather, right? Oh shit, he just died 2 days ago.
Who's that?
Oh, fuck. Hold on.
From The Godfather? You mean the movie? An actor or an actual guy?
Marlon Brando?
No. It was on TV the other day.
Okay. Alex Rocco, the Godfather star.
No, that's Mo Green.
Yeah.
Mo Green.
He fucking... When?
2 days ago.
That doesn't even look like him. Is that supposed to be him? Yeah, that's him, all right.
Wow, he looks so
I didn't
different.
know that. Mo Green. Did he catch one in the eye?
No, he choked on a breadstick at the Olive Garden.
Oh, that's fucking
you
racist,
son
man.
of a bitch.
Why the Olive Garden, Brian? Why you gonna be like
Son
that, man?
of a bitch.
Why you gonna be Olive Garden with Italian shit?
He has a running joke about Olive
I haven't
Garden.
done that in a while.
He slips in Olive Garden into conversations.
I had the best chunk ever on the Olive Garden. I can't remember.
Oh, a bit, you mean?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to hear it.
People...
They have
Look it
the
up.
Olive
You're the
Garden truck
fucking
now.
Google it.
Oh, look at him there.
It's
Look
on my
at him
first
there.
album.
Look at him in
It's
that
like-
bottom image. That's when, right after he won the Academy Award.
Yeah, those are the glasses Mo Green had on when he got it. When he was getting massaged.
There's something great about those.
He's from
big, giant
Boston, by the way.
glasses. Really?
Oh, yeah. I
Wow.
believe he's a Boston guy.
Mo Green.
I did not
awesome.
hear that. There he is. That looks more like Mo Green there.
That's it. We all go. Nick
Everybody's
DiPaolo.
here. Michael,
One
Fredo,
day.
how you doing?
I mean,
You're
if
not going. We're not going anyway.
You think you're gonna be okay?
Oh, Christ.
What's gonna happen?
110, 111 before I go.
Really?
Oh, shit. I'll start shitting my pants about a week from now, but
What makes you say that?
I'm kidding.
P90X?
I'll be gone soon. Yeah, you got to stay in it. You got to
What's it
stay
called again?
focused.
What's it called again? The new
That's
one?
Extremity.
mine's not even new. This one's been out a few years. 30-minute insanity or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, Sean
Yeah.
T.
I've seen the commercial. I've definitely seen the commercial.
The guy is working out. He's jumping around for 30 minutes. I don't know how you can talk and still, do that type of aerobic exercise and still be able to speak.
You gotta
gotta
be very fit.
Unbelievably fit.
Yeah, when you're demonstrating moves, like if you
Yeah.
demonstrate martial arts moves, you get exhausted. Like, because you're trying to talk and you're throwing kicks and you're trying to explain what you're doing. You get winded real quick.
And this guy talks nonstop for 30 minutes while he's jumping around.
And his people give up. Like there's people that have to sit out like halfway through. They're like,
Absolutely.
I was like, wow, you picked some really fucking weirdos.
Well, it's hard. It really is hard. But how about there's another girl out there, Autumn Calabrese, her name is.
No?
She's a beach body, one of those Tony Horton proteges. And just Google Autumn Calabrese, and she's got the 21-day fix out or something. It's an infomercial with Tom Bergeron, but you should see. Look at the body on her. I've never seen anybody, who doesn't juice or isn't a bodybuilder. Are you kidding me? Is
She
in
looks
shape?
very fit. She looks very fit.
Unbelievable.
Do you
I
think
do
she
her
d-
30-minute workout though.
I
What is
recommend
hers?
Jane Fonda's
It's
old,
really
old
easy.
school.
Does it involve one of them things you hold on to? This little shaky thing?
Shake weight.
Do you believe that thing fucking exists?
It's the most ridiculous workout tool ever.
Why would you
The
need that?
shaky
You just
weight.
grab onto somebody who's having a seizure.
It's hard to find someone who has a seizure when you're trying to get a workout in.
What was Suzanne Summers' one? The one that you put in between?
Thigh
Master.
They have vibrating thigh masters.
I bought a used one and licked it for 20 minutes.
Do you know, I know jiu-jitsu guys who got the Thigh Master so that they could work the inside leg muscles so they could squeeze guys better.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But they have info commercials with Jane Fonda.
Yeah, I can't tell if you're bullshitting.
No, for real.
Is it hot in here or is it the coffee?
It's probably the coffee.
All right.
But they have info commercials with Jane Fonda with vibrating, the vibrating workout thing, and it's some of the funniest
Here
shit
it is.
ever.
There it is.
Thigh Master.
Yeah,
bitch.
I bought a used one on eBay.
Ooh, what did it smell like?
I sniffed it for like an hour and sent it back.
Not acceptable.
It smells like pineapple.
Find me one that's been used by an American.
That's the new Hitachi right there.
I'm not playing around with your goddamn coconut Thigh Master.
Coconut Thigh Master.
For sexy hips and thighs.
Lotion.
Oh my God, what the hell is that?
Bonus lotion? Oh, gel.
Yeah.
Organic
That's for
bronzing gel.
whacking off to the infomercial.
Bronzing gel. That's hilarious.
My
Squeeze your
dick-
thighs together and then orange them.
Yeah, exactly.
How are girls using this to masturbate? Because it has to be for that,
I
right?
don't know.
No,
I mean,
it's not.
I guess you could get everything warmed up first with that. Like if you were hell bent on like stimulating or simulating some sort of a wild gorilla fuck fest, what you do is you just squeeze the shit out of that thing till your legs reach fatigue. And, you know, all the while you got to like play with yourself. And then once you realize that your legs are about to give in, that's when you start shoving the dildo inside you. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just saying that's how I'd handle it.
I just heard shoving the dildo into yourself. That's all I heard out of that.
I was just thinking if you really wanted to have, if you want to use the Thigh Master for orgasms, if you were trying to masturbate with it, that'd be the only way. To use it to make your legs tired.
Unless you turn it on.
Does that make sense?
So it's like this, like a pyramid. Like the ball's the top, and then you put it down, and the girls sit on it and push down, like they ride it like this.
Okay, right.
While it vibrates. That's probably what they're doing.
It gives back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they bronze. That bronze is actually
Women
gel.
probably put it between their legs and have their husband stick their head in, and then they clamp it on their husband's necks.
You know what I don't
Kill 'em
like?
instantly.
I don't like that those oh my God facts are sometimes made up.
They're fake. Half of them are fake.
Yeah, sometimes they're made up because there was one about the vibrator. Like the vibrator was the second or third for of the electronically connected things, electrically powered things in the household. I was like, what? And then like it beat the washing machine and something else, and I was like, wait a minute.
The third most what?
I
used?
No,
one
of the quickest created. Like one of the third.
Oh, really?
The third electric creation. Yeah, it's probably bullshit.
Invention?
Though. Yeah, it's probably
Who came up with it?
bullshit.
Edison's wife?
You even say it like you're delivering a punchline. They used to have those in doctors' offices. They used to stimulate women to orgasm in doctors' offices. That was a normal...
What do you mean used to?
Go to the right doctor.
Go to the right dentist.
Is that laughing gas or just happy to see me?
Are you flossing?
Have we talked since the Cosby thing?
Oh, come on. He's fine. This is a racist society trying to pull down another black man, Joe.
That's what
He
I
never
heard.
raped anybody, man. Why are you getting all over his shit?
Chuck D from Public Enemy, who I love dearly,
Sure.
on his Twitter thing, he called him Dr. Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
Dr.
Huxtable. Dr. Huxtable.
No, actually, you know what? Actually, he is a doctor in real life.
But he's an honorary
Yes,
doctor.
exactly.
Yeah, but I think they rescinded that. Or
Did they take that
Can
back?
they take that back? They took something back. Took some honorary something or another he had back. I don't know if it was that.
But then they built a statue of him in front of Grambling.
What there was
Archie Temple.
There's so many funny things that Cosby did in the past that now are a lot more funnier now because of all the like when Coke 2 came out, there was a commercial and I forget what the tagline was.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
It's like trust me, and he's like holding the or something.
I
like
see what
that.
you're saying. Yeah.
And then like there's like a Cosby show where he makes chili and he goes, and I have my special ingredient that makes you go get sleepy. And then like he walks into like Rudy Huck, like the kids are like eating the chili. He's like, no.
Really?
Yeah.
It really says I have my special ingredient that makes you sleeping?
It's old commercials that now when you watch them in retrospect, they fit the narrative perfectly.
Oh, my God.
So now I've been just thinking of like every single Cosby movie I want to watch now and find like all the secret things. What was the one where he was like
What was the one where he's pulling a pudding pop out of an unconscious girl's ass? What movie was that?
About like going through like old fat albums and stuff, and so funny.
Guilty.
What was Coke 2?
Guilt-fucking-T.
There was a commercial for Coke 2 that I gotta find.
That seems like a tough one to argue.
I didn't like Cosby. I never liked his. I mean, I respected, but I never found him funny. When I was working at Chris Rock, the whole show went to see Cosby, and I didn't want to go.
Really?
Yeah.
I almost
like,
went
you're
to see
crazy,
him.
DiPaolo. You're gonna fucking miss it.
Oh yeah, we were going to see him in Vegas.
Yeah, we're gonna take a trip to Vegas just to see him, because everybody was telling me like you got to see him, that he's the best. You got to see him. They were saying like he sets up these bits and they're just fucking perfect and
yeah. Well. I felt that way about Jay Charbonneau.
Jay Charbonneau. Jesus
There's a
Christ.
name from the past.
You just hurt my feelings.
Stitches.
I forgot about that.
He was the
guy.
angry guy then. I loved him.
Jay
Remember?
Charbonneau.
He was always angry.
Holy shit. How do you... Maybe pot is fucking with my memory. If you can bring back all
It's
these
fucking
guys.
with your
You
memory,
think so?
Joe. That's been proven.
Has it been proven?
Oh, fuck, yeah.
On Fox
Come
News?
on. No, not Fox News. Pauly Shore's mom, for Christ's sake.
I don't think she did pot.
No, she probably never touched weed. You're right.
First of all, how dare you? Second of all, I think it was some other stuff.
It was what?
It was genetic, too. Parkinson's.
Oh, I
Unless you're a
didn't.
boxer.
I was just throwing that out there. I didn't know
hear you.
I didn't know she had a disease.
Yeah, she does. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, Mitzi's
What'd she
she's
got?
been ill for a long time. I think she's got either Parkinson's or muscular sclerosis. I don't know what or
Multiple sclerosis.
multiple sclerosis.
No, I loved Mitzi. She passed me the first night I showed up in L.A.
Did she
She was
really?
in the crowd. She was in the original room, and it was like open mic or a new potluck or whatever the fuck. Like 3 guys went up and just ate their own shit. Like Jay London had the best set, and he got like 6 laughs.
Jay London.
And then I just fucking went on, and that's when I was doing it 4 times a night. 30 nights a month, and she just happened to be there. She was fucking literally her hat was falling off. She had that hat on. She goes, "You come in anytime you want." She couldn't have been sweeter.
Do you miss living out here?
I don't miss it, but in retrospect, looking back, I enjoyed it more than I thought I did. You know what I mean?
You enjoyed it more than you thought it did. Like
When I was so happy to get back to New York, and I didn't really care for LA at all. But now that looking back on it, I had good times out here.
it wasn't bad.
No.
It's not bad. There's definitely a difference in the vibe. That's the different vibe that you get when you're in LA. It's just way different than the vibe that you get in New York, and especially at like comedy clubs. The New York comedy club vibe is like very hostile. It's a different kind of vibe.
Not
It's
anymore,
more-
though. The Comedy Cellar's like a tourist trap, and
Really?
yeah, Louis' show is so popular. People come from all over now, and they see the Comedy Cellar. They showed at the beginning of Louis' show, and like the early shows there are like. Sometimes you're like, well, how did that joke swing and miss? Then after the show, the doorman's like, well, that whole 14 people, they're from like fucking Sweden. They're all German. Hate that. And that's like the early show. Then I guess the second and third shows it gets back to. But it's not hostile. It's on the campus of NYU. It's all college kids. And they have their brains filled with, PC mush.
PC college kids. These
Yeah.
motherfucking know-it-all little punks.
Yeah, well, Seinfeld's too edgy for him, so.
Well, Seinfeld is
he's
he's
very
not
edgy.
racially diverse. He didn't diversify his cars and coffee show. Sounds
Yeah,
racist.
he's racist. Yeah.
Sounds racist
But that's
to me.
not even their problem with him. They think he's too edgy.
Hey, Jamie, there's a dude outside that I want to bring in. There's a guy that I met last night. I wanted to sit down with Nick, and I want to bring this guy in. His name is, just bring him in. His name's Adam. He should be out there right now. I met this guy last night that is a counselor in Florida. And I have to leave tomorrow. I was trying to figure out what way to have this guy talk to me about what the fuck he did. When I hear about a scam, a money scam, a crazy money scam, this guy was working with drug rehabilitation people in Florida and fucking dealing with people that have all these drug addictions and all the different prescriptions that they would put them on and how much money they would get. He was telling me that they would charge people like $1,500 a day to keep someone a patient in their institution. Can you set up a microphone over here? Yeah. Is that possible? Mixing it up, Nick DiPaolo.
Can I plug my
Mixing it up.
website?
Fuck yeah.
NickDip.com.
What are you doing next? What do you got going on?
I don't know.
What are you out here
That's
for?
a good question. Well, I'm still selling the album. And I got such a kick after I did your show and Adams and everybody else is out here. I got a spike in sales, so I thought I'd refresh it.
You're like a businessman. You made a smart business move.
Little
Decided
bit.
to come out to L.A.
I did.
That's nice. Beautiful.
So,
Does he ever need me to tweet anything? I'd be more than happy.
Seriously?
Fuck yeah.
You shouldn't have said that. I'll be hounding you.
Hound me. Give me a hard time.
But I did that thing on Amy Schumer, 12 Angry Men.
Oh, yeah. How was that? Yeah.
That was
got to
funny.
act with Paul Giamatti and Jeff Goldblum and John
Her fucking
Hawkes.
show is smashing
Killer
right now.
So, things are kicking up.
It's getting interesting because she's experiencing some backlash from some shit that she's always said.
Yeah.
You know, people are mad at her now.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Well, that's a little fucking sick, isn't it, Joe? What are we doing here?
They eat themselves.
Yeah.
There was
It's
a
fun to
cover of a
watch.
magazine. See the cover of the magazine with her sucking on C-3PO's thumb?
Yeah.
And
God forbid.
Yeah, well, all these people were saying that like that's an affront to feminism, and people are mad at her now, and you know it doesn't promote feminism for her to suck on a robot's finger.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, they're eating each other. But she did Hispanic, but it's not Hispanic people getting mad at her. It's white liberal people getting mad at her.
Exactly.
I never have a problem with, like minorities in the audience. They never have a problem with my shit. It's always white little liberal kids trying to defend their feelings. Seriously.
Come on in, Adam. Come on, have a seat.
It's fucking embarrassing.
Well, it is. Put those headphones on too, if you would. Yeah, it's a real problem with comedy. Comedy's a big part of what comedy is saying shit you don't really mean because it's the funny thing to say. And if you're going to cut off that and you're going to make it like really difficult for people to express themselves honestly, you're going to get shittier and shittier comedy. You know, you're going to have to only say what you mean always. You know,
I say what I mean. I do, and they have a problem with that too.
That too, but I mean, even joking around about shit, saying things that are clearly in jest.
Absolutely.
What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Put that thing up to your face.
Better.
There it works, man. So met this guy last night. He started talking to me about. We'll tell him the whole story.
Which part? The Medicare part? Those issues?
Yeah, talk into the microphone. Has he ever done a podcast before? Or anything like this?
No.
He wrote a book, right?
Yeah.
And what's the book?
Two of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, two of those things, man.
And what is the book?
The first one is Mastering Life Transitions, and the second one is Chemical Incarceration, Addicted to the Process.
And so you were working with people that are drug addicted, and you felt like it was like a money scam?
It is. I mean, it's a process they set up to addict you from the beginning. I mean, they bring you in for a 30-day rehab, and what I'm talking about are government-funded facilities, Medicare facilities. They get you to come in, and for 30 days, they basically switch out whatever hard drugs you're on with their synthetic drugs. Right. Why they make, the facility owners get $1,500 a day per patient, inpatient facility. And then they're discharged. You're kind of pushed to say, hey, discharge them to our outpatient facility.
Oh, sure.
Because then they make another $500 to $700 a day per patient for 4 to 8 weeks.
How ridiculous is that?
Government scam. Less government, Joe.
Well, that's government.
It's crazy because the patients want the drugs in the hospital, but the hospital owners take care of the patients almost like they're VIP clients at the Ritz-Carlton.
That's so crazy. Adam, tell everybody your full name, man.
Adam Lowery. Yeah.
And what's the name of your book?
The second one is Chemical Incarceration, Addicted to the Process. The first one is Mastering Life Transitions. And
it's all, are they both on the same subject?
No, Mastering Life Transitions I came up with my own theory. It's called TSBT, Transrational Structure Behavior Theory.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what I said. A whole bunch of psychobabble shit. But then I summed it up to the Cognitive Rampage, and that's essentially what I call it.
It's a great name for it.
What's the Cognitive Rampage?
That's actually the website, cognitiveраmpage.com.
I love that.
Can I
name.
use that for a CD?
It's a great
title?
band.
Please, man, go ahead.
That's a fucking great name.
Cognitive Rampage.
That's a great name.
What's Cognitive Rampage entail?
Well, for me, when I'm talking or I'm giving my delivery or I'm giving my speeches or whatever I'm talking about, I get really rampaging and I get intense. I mean, I'm trying to fucking help somebody's life.
You get all Donald Trump.
Be like, hey.
No. I think that's different.
Yeah, I mean, I just got tired of that therapist that sit there and, tell me how that makes you feel. And then, treat you in some pompous manner and dance around you for half a fucking hour hoping you figure some shit out.
So for people that get hooked on drugs and they get involved in some sort of recovery program like that where they instantly take the drugs that they were on and they put them on another drug that just has a similar effect but it's legal, I mean, they really don't do anything.
No. Not a fucking thing.
That's common? That's like what most of the time what happens?
That's period what happens. What's crazy is you could walk into a drug treatment. Now, these are Medicare funded now. Medicare, not like Passages in Malibu, not like that. But if you walked in, you're supposed to be greeted by a physician and diagnosed within the first day or two.
Makes sense.
Well, to cut costs, you walk in and a high school graduate fills out your admission paper and throws on your diagnosis, bipolar. All right? You can't even diagnose anybody with that until they're off drugs, until they're back at baseline. But you can't take them into your inpatient unless they have one of those labels so they can get paid for it.
Well, there you go.
So the legal way of diagnosing someone as being bipolar, you got to wait until they're free of all drugs.
That's right.
So they do it illegally?
That's right.
And everybody knows?
Everyone knows.
Whoa.
At the Willow in Naples.
Less government.
Where I work.
Less fucking government.
Yes.
He's right. In this sense, right? Like that's not how, I mean, at least it's keeping people off the streets, I guess. But how much money is being spent? And it's all tax dollars, right? If it's Medicare?
Oh, all of it. It's all of our money. I mean, but what's funny is the patients think it's their money. So when they're sitting in the rehab,
That's right.
It's, hey, doc, I need my pills.
That's right.
Hey, therapist, you need to discharge me here. Do this for me. I'm essentially their fucking travel agent. I mean, the book, what I talk about, Addicted to the Process, what incentive does somebody have to quit doing drugs, all right? Let's say you have a very minimal education, nothing going for you.
Yeah.
I can quit doing heroin and cocaine and maybe go, I don't know, clean shit for a living or something. But then I can't even have a drink to waste away the shit day I just had. So what they do is they'll come into a 30-day treatment facility, do their 30 days, but it's bed and breakfast, it's drugs, it's smoking, it's sex even at most of them.
Yeah.
Sex.
Yeah.
They take away ambition, government programs. That's what they do.
The bathrooms become fucking hostels. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then after 30 days, by law, I have to find them where they're going to live, where they're going to get their next drugs from, and how they're going to get there, and their doctor.
So it eliminates all the ambition they might have to get their shit together.
Completely enables them.
Wow. That's insane.
But would you want to quit? Would you want to quit? I do 30 days. I was on heroin for a while, not me, but let's say I was. And I walk in, I do 30 days, I meet some new fine-ass chick in an AA meeting that sees life the way I do, and we're going to conquer this together. So we get discharged to say, I don't know, I've always wanted to see Savannah. Well, by law, I got to discharge them, find their house, find their doctor.
What?
Yeah.
We then fly them there or send them on a bus.
On a dime.
Then they go to outpatient facility, 4 to 8 weeks on our dime again, just to hang out with more people that don't want to quit, party some more for a while, only to relapse and go, well, I guess I'll admit myself to this Savannah rehab then. Do another 30 days, come out, now they go, well, I've always wanted to go to Vegas.
Where's the ambition to get clean or the incentive? Same with welfare. Where's the incentive to work? But you're going to go out and get a $40,000 a year job. You can get that in benefits.
This seems like I would have heard of this. That's why you freaked me out. When we were talking last night, like, it was after the show, and I was talking to him when there was a bunch of people around. There's Dom Herrera we were hanging around with, and it was hard to, like, get a real bead on how deep this went. Just with all those other people around and all that. But what you're saying doesn't make any sense. Because it seems like, I mean, not that I don't believe you, but it seems like that would have been so obvious a long time ago that that's a ridiculous way to do things.
You can't, because if I'm would be a licensed therapist, if I say anything, I get blackballed from ever working at any facility again.
Oh my God.
So no therapist, after you go get a $150,000, degree, you got debt you got to pay. If you speak out against what's happening, you're blackballed, and that's it. And all of these facility fat cat owners know each other.
Wow.
What's your title? Your work title?
Well,
technically,
I can't say therapist anymore. I'm not a licensed therapist because fuck that. I don't want it. I gave it back, and I don't believe in practicing in some conservative structure to help change somebody's life. So it's just me with a master's degree, some life coaching stuff.
You're a freelance. Okay.
What is your degree in?
Mental health counseling.
Wow, man. What a trip that must be embedded in that system like that.
Dude, it fucking killed me, to be straight with you, man. When I first got in, I was, because I really changed my life from the shit I used to be in. Turn it around, show up ready to, help people and get involved, only to see everyone around me.
It's corrupt.
They've given the fuck up.
Wow. That's so crazy that there's so much of a money grab going on. I never had heard that before.
Nobody has a reason. I mean, the facility owners are making millions. The people getting treatment are getting their drugs in a bed and breakfast place. Why would they want to say anything? Therapist can't say anything. He'll lose his fucking job.
I want to do heroin. Come on, Nick. Let's do some heroin for a couple months.
From what I hear, Suboxone is much better. The synthetic stuff that we make.
I was going to say,
thanks for the tip.
Gives you white chitter on the corner of your mouth.
Yeah, what is Suboxone?
Right.
This is the other thing you were telling me last night. They replace the heroin. If people come in and they have a heroin addiction, they replace it with Suboxone. But the difference is that heroin is pretty cheap and Suboxone is fucking really expensive.
There you go.
Like, what is the difference in the money?
Well, now you can get Suboxone pills on the street for $20 to $40. Depends on who has it, and it's cheaper than your fucking copay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your copay when you buy it from a pharmacist is more expensive than buying it on the street.
Many times. Depends on your plan D.
So many pro tips.
So many pro tips. Brian is ready to get on heroin. He's like, I have found.
Brian's
I'm moving
jotting
into
shit
a
down.
new apartment. New apartment.
Find some skinny heroin chick and with her blue baby crawling on the ceiling. It's
You don't
gonna be
want
great.
a blue baby, but you do want a skinny heroin chick. Good taste in music, some distasteful tattoos.
Blue baby.
Some knuckle tattoos, a shady past, but she's a good cuddler.
Have you been in a rehab, Joe?
No, I see the picture now. It's very Bukowski 76.
And you can't go on 60 Minutes or anything because you'll be outcast.
Well, one of the owners I worked for actually has already even been arrested for Medicare fraud in 1985, and he still owns 4 hospitals today.
Oh my God.
Maybe all the people that you're learning this from are fraud, and so you're just like outing all your bosses, and they don't actually do this.
Oh, well, no, my bosses were good. My direct bosses. Now, Leo D'Anibal was my mentor, man. He's
not Leo.
Awesome
no
dude.
mention names, bro. Leo's listening.
He's a good dude, but...
and this is in Florida.
Yeah.
So that's such a fucking whacked out state. Is that like everywhere in the country, or is it just Florida has this?
Well, what's crazy is Florida has its own Medicare fraud phone number, while every other state calls one number.
Wow. Jesus.
Ain't that some shit?
That's hilarious, man.
It is.
Oh my God, what a wacky ass fucking state. So what he was telling me last night, we were talking about the OxyContin Express, that documentary about all the people that were getting these OxyContin prescriptions from those pain management centers. Yep. And he said that they had replaced it with Suboxone. And he just started telling me, because he told me he was a drug counselor, and I was like, oh, I need to fucking hear what's going on down there. And I didn't expect the can of worms that you opened up. I was like, what? I can't. How much money is going on through? What? And that's just Florida.
That's just Florida.
So what happens in Massachusetts or California or something like that? Like they have different rules?
I haven't done therapy there, but what's funny is all of the patients that wind up at the Willow are on the rounds. So they come from California, they come from Boston, they come from all these places. And the Willow's just around.
So do they have a time frame where they have to get out by?
It depends. Different plans. So they have like 90 lifetime days that every year rebirth, and then you have 160 days during the year. So you can go in 30 days, come out 30, wait 30, it repopulates again. Now, the patients, the people that use this, they know these systems better than the doctors do, better than the insurance specialists and everything.
Wow.
The place I was at actually has a sales force up front. They call the people that come through there alumni and frequent flyers. And so they'll call them and go, hey, it's been a while since you've been in, whoever. Why don't you come in for a medication adjustment?
Whoa.
It's illegal as fuck. And they call them in for medication adjustment.
And so who's instigating that? Is it the employees? Is there a director that tells the employees what they have to do? Like, how does that work?
They keep it really, really close. So there's 2 or 3 friends that are close with the owners that work in the, well, it's not sales department, it's the admissions department, but we all know it as the sales department.
It's like an Audi dealership. Oh, fuck.
The undercoating.
Right?
It's like Fargo. That's
true.
Well, you want to get that undercoat.
You have 50,000 Suboxone points.
But they won't call
fly
you
to Vegas
unless they know you have days left.
What?
If you don't have days, they can pull up your chart and go, all right, he's got 10 days. He's usually here every 3 months. He hasn't been back. I wonder how he's doing. Let's call him up. Hey, I know you're fighting sobriety and may have been sober for 3 months, but why don't you come back for medication adjustment?
Wow.
Medication
so
adjustment.
if you were really feeling sober and you had kind of like graduated past the demons of the pills and you were off of it, but then you got that phone call. You got that phone call. It's like, look, I got it for you. How about a medication adjustment, baby?
Man, the dope boys have left the corner and put on white coats and moved into psychiatric hospitals.
That's another good album, Medication Adjustment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. That's a good name. That's a good one, Medication Adjustment. I like that one.
Yeah.
Thugs in white coats.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. It's amazing that that's the system in place, well, at least in Florida. So is that how they're making up for the money that they lost by selling all the OxyContins?
It's the pharmaceutical companies are. They're always out to get the money. So now the Suboxone story is pretty fucking crazy. In the 70s is when Suboxone started to come out. And the government was going to subsidize the payment of anybody to build this. Please build this pill for us. We know it works, etc. Pfizer and all the big boys said, fuck you, we're not touching it. We know it's addictive as hell. They left it alone, and a mustard company that made from mustard seeds.
Not Golden's. Don't tell me Golden's got people hooked on shit.
So they were going out of business, and they accepted the offer of the government. Got paid, took the subsidies, and developed the drug Suboxone. Problem was, yeah.
When you're making Pfizer look good,
wow.
You're really fucking.
So
that's coming from a right wing.
The problem is they had laws on the books that a physician cannot prescribe a narcotic to get someone off a narcotic. So then they spend the next 30 years changing the laws. Now here comes the pill. We're ready to market it, right? So it works kind of like methadone, but in the marketing meeting we go, look guys, we can't rebrand methadone. What are we going to do? So they all sit around and they go, well, look, everybody going to these facilities is in AA or NA, right? So higher power stuff. So what do? The first stamp that they put on this pill is a Christian cross, and they dub it the miracle drug. Yes, sir. Fed it to everybody.
Hold on. So when you get a Suboxone, it has a cross on it?
Used to. Not anymore. They changed it.
Please let me see that picture, Jamie.
The little orange pill. He'll find it.
Oh, my God. That is evil.
Ain't that some shit?
I didn't even think about that, but NA and 12-step, they Alcoholics Anonymous and NA, they all God-based, right?
Higher power. Yeah, it helped a lot of people.
The best acid was Jesus Christ acid.
That's what I'd heard, right?
Is that true,
Yeah, 94.
Really? Do you remember how many guys...
You ever tried the Moses wheat?
Do you remember how many guys came from Alcoholics Anonymous into stand-up? Because they learned how to stand up in front of those groups and make everybody laugh? Dave Fitzgerald. Remember Dave Fitzgerald?
He died.
Died of cancer. Yeah.
He died.
Funny fucking guy. He was a funny guy. Look at this. Jesus Christ.
There it is.
Literally.
That is... Literally, yeah.
Is that a cross or a sword?
It looks like a sword.
That's a sword. That's not a cross.
Meant to be both.
Is it really?
Meant to be both.
Are you trying to pin it on Christians?
Did you think of this when you were stoned?
Who came up with
No,
this?
man.
This is a Jewish thing.
It's crazy, right?
And look, it's that...
N8. What the fuck's N8?
And it's that gay rights thing, the no-hate thing.
It's
N8. It's gay rights and Jesus together in harmony in heroin. It's amazing.
I'll go with the 8 milligrams of the cross, please.
Yeah, it's definitely more sword-like than cross-like. But if you were like a super cross person, you could
or
go.
If you hated Christians,
it was just a tall cross.
It does look like a knife.
It does a little bit.
But why that?
No, exactly.
Fighting its heroin addiction with heroin.
With a
with a knife.
With a pointy thing?
I think it's Tower 7.
It looks like a goddamn syringe. How are you going to help?
That's what I'm saying.
You're going to help people on drugs?
Brian just said it's Tower 7.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's that is really fucking crazy though. That's how they do it.
Now they're giving it to alcoholics too to get them off of that.
Give you a little heroin to get off of alcohol. Mm-hmm. It's hilarious.
Isn't that some shit, man?
So it's hilarious that they're just allowed to do that. They could just decide they're going to just give you drugs.
90-day supply. You kick a user who's only been clean 30 days, you give him 90 days supply of Suboxone and send him on his way to some other city.
So do they have to take piss tests when they go into these rehab places?
Nope.
So they might be on Suboxone and who knows what the fuck
they
else.
are. They trade them. They trade them.
We have athletes pissing into cups every 2 weeks, but people who need the help.
Right, exactly.
Right? Shit. We pay $1,500 a day, and we don't drug test them at all.
Right.
We drug test them when they get there just to find out all the shit they're on, so if they give them other shit, they don't accidentally kill them.
Wow.
That's it.
I want to know if this is all across the country. I want to know if this is like California. Is it Michigan?
Of course, it's only in Florida.
Mostly. Right near the cocaine.
Probably,
a
right?
mile from Miami.
Exactly. It's one of the craziest places ever.
It's the easiest place to get drugs.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Right?
Yeah, I would agree.
That state?
Now you don't even need insurance or money.
It's hard to get pot.
You got to go to Vermont for
It's
that.
not an easy spot to get pot, right? It's a little shifty.
Yeah, you got to park and meet somebody. And you gotta go, yeah.
As opposed to walking into a government-run facility.
As opposed to getting it delivered to you with your breakfast
How are
in the
you?
morning.
Could I speak to my senator, please? I need a buzz.
I mean, they're essentially giving them pills and giving them a house to live in.
Yeah. And then transport to any city they want to go hang out with more drug addicts and have some more fun.
And we're paying for it.
That's right.
Now I understand where Nick DiPaolo's anger comes from.
Goddamn right.
That's where that right-wing rage, that Fox News rage.
No, it's fucking... You keep saying that, Joe. Fucking, what are you watching, MSNBC?
Fox Red Eye's a good show. Isn't it a good show?
They don't pay, and fucking there's no exposure. I quit doing it.
They don't pay?
No.
They don't pay you at all?
Nope.
Whoa.
I used to bust Gutfeld's balls when I was doing it. I go, what the fuck? You're on at 3 in the morning. It's not exactly a lot of exposure. I'm getting no money. And now you want me to research the topics?
But don't they have like a scale? They don't have like a...
None of that. No.
What?
Which is funny, I know, because you think how successful,
and also,
News Corps is.
Those shows are good because they have guys like you on. I mean, that's what makes them fun. Guys like you and Norton and Anthony.
Right.
You Opie and Anthony fan, brother?
Oh, I am.
Fuck yeah, right?
I am, man.
It makes me sad that they're still split up. I thought they would have worked the shit out by now.
Yeah.
Got back together again.
Yeah.
Poor Anthony.
Hopefully they will. Hopefully they will.
So you stopped doing this. You gave up your license. And what are you doing now? What kind of... You're doing more counseling now?
No, I can't say... I'm not allowed to say counseling and therapy because of the license thing. But
so now you're doing like... you're just helping people with their lives?
Actually, I do a thing that I call full synergy, right? It's some fun language play shit. But for the most part, man, I believe in feeding the mind, feeding the body, and feeding whatever it is you believe equally on a daily. Keeping a balance. Feeding the body relaxes the mind, etc. That kind of stuff, And so what I'm doing is I use my theory, and instead of sitting down doing this talk therapy, so tell me about your fucking childhood or some shit.
Jesus.
Because none of that shit really matters, but to a point. But it's going right into helping people kind of look at what their life philosophy is, helping them build a more rational life philosophy to make decisions and build a purposeful routine is what I call it, purposeful structure. Yeah.
So do you get clients from, you get them privately now? Like how do you, so they have to know about you from someone else or something like that?
Yeah, for the most part.
How do they find out about you?
Usually a friend of a friend or somebody that knows. I have this fucking talent of helping out the worst of the worst, man. The people that have been, 15, 20 years on heroin and, hard stuff. And we do some out-of-the-box treatments ever since I started listening to your show.
Uh-oh. What kind of out-of-the-box treatments? Don't blame me, man.
Do mushrooms.
What kind of out-of-the-box treatments are you doing, sir?
Just an open idea to look into it myself to make those decisions. But
DDT.
DMT.
Yeah, that shit that kills mosquitoes?
Yeah. That's that shit you take.
Sanka.
Right.
Sanka.
Shit. My wife and I, that's what I was telling you last night, just finished the little psilocybin retreat, if you will, me and her at the Joshua Tree.
Did you tell the drug addicts about this?
Yeah.
You let them know?
Yeah.
You could try some other stuff?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. If they had a fucking mushroom place where you can go, just like they're doing with the Suboxone shit, if you had like a halfway mushroom house.
Well, like you said, that shit changes your perspective sometimes, right? On life, so it might even work in...
It does.
Does it?
It would
I'm
work.
afraid of that shit.
It would work way better because you would want to get the fuck out of that halfway house. That's the first thing you'd want to do. You'd be ambitious. You'd be like, I got to get... This is not what I'm doing the wrong thing. I got to get my life in order. Like, what am I doing here? Accepting a government check and taking mushrooms.
Well, you walk into a facility and they go bipolar and they go, thank you, I can collect that check now.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you collect those. Now you just, it's very small. You're not getting rich off of it
No,
by
but
any
it's
means.
enough to take any ambition away.
Well, but if I give you 90 Suboxone and you only need 30 and you sell the 60.
Well, there you go. What are you going to do with that money?
There you go.
So what is a Suboxone, like one a day, and they would give them 90 for 90 days or 90 for 30 days?
90 for 30 days.
Oh, my God. So they give 3 a day. So you'd just be barbecued all day long. Just toasted.
I'd have people sitting in my group therapy.
Nodding right there.
Drooling.
Suboxone the fuck out.
Klonopin, Suboxone, and Dilaudid.
That is crazy that this is a therapy program. That you guys would be talking to people just jacked out of their mind.
Out.
So maybe Brody's on to something this whole time.
What's that sound?
It's that trash can thing.
Outside? Oh. That's so loud. Maybe Brody is on to something. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, he's been weaning himself off lately, supposedly.
And what did they have him on?
Klonopin, I don't know, a ton.
Did they have him on Suboxone?
I haven't heard Suboxone.
Because that's the thing. When you said that name, I was like, have I heard that name from Brody before?
Maybe.
I don't know. See, I don't know enough about those fucking pills to know exactly what that means. You know, like I didn't know that OxyContin is different than oxycodone. It's different than Vicodin, but they're all kind of similar, right?
After all that OxyContin Express stuff, they changed the compounds in it so it become less addictive and also so you couldn't smoke it anymore.
Really?
Yeah, that's why they changed it.
Wow, that's amazing. So that documentary did a world of good.
Huge. Huge.
If anybody who hasn't seen that, you got to watch it. There wasn't that long ago they were running this. They had these pain management centers. You'd show up at the pain management center. Oh, my back. The doctor would go, yeah, man, you need some fucking drugs. Just walk right there. And there was another desk right there that had the drugs. I mean, like, literally, he was, like, in the same room as them. And he would go right to the pharmacist. The pharmacist would write you a little thing and give you a package, and you're out the door, and you've got drugs.
One of the clients I work with, his scam that he used to do is he would get, like, 3 or 4 big charter buses, those giant ones, and fill it with senior citizens from another state, drive them down to Florida, and promise them a trip to Florida, sightseeing, and lunch. Drive them down here, get all their scripts, fill them all completely, drive them back, and keep all of their medications.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So did he get the scripts from them? Did they have to sign the scripts over?
All of it.
So it was part of their deal.
That's
they
right.
realized it. They go, yeah, you can do this. And was that legal, or was that all?
No, that's all illegal. All of it. That was hitting the pill mills you were just talking about.
Jesus Christ.
Let's get a bus.
How much money could you make off of a bus of old people and their pills?
Go to Miami.
Figures 60 people, 30 to 90 pills at 20 to 50 a pill.
I'm not even smart enough to be a criminal. That's what's pissing me off about all this shit.
Right.
I don't think this is one of those legal. This isn't legal.
No.
But it is legal to have those pain management centers and to you just walk in off the street. And
They're cracking down on them in Florida. They're really pushing them out now because of that. Because of the documentary, they've really shut them down. But all they've done now is turn to psychiatric facilities. There's 3 different levels of psych facilities, and now Obama put out another $5 million or $5 billion to open up more because there's a need for it.
You said Obama. You said the O word for Nick DiPaolo.
Shit, that's twice.
Big government ain't coming from my side of the fucking
It sounds good because it's wrapped in the shroud of we're opening more mental health facilities.
That's what they always wrap their horse shit
Bullshit.
in. Exactly.
It's a convincing argument against big government for sure. It's a convincing argument that people, when you give them the opportunity to make a shitload of money by controlling a segment of anything, whether it's whatever it is, mental health, anything, as soon as they figure out there's a spot where they could start extracting money.
Yeah,
they just do
and take your ambition away and make you.
See, that's you focus on that a lot, right? And it's totally true. I mean, anybody who says it's not, the idea that you
become reliant on
you violate human nature. Like human nature is if someone has to scratch and scrounge, you get ambitious, you figure your way out of a hole.
Yeah,
that's what most people do.
That's and a lot of the the people that I've seen in these hospitals, you see a glimmer of hope that want to do that, but then they're hit by the same phrase I get way fucking tired of hearing. It's not your fault. You have a disease.
There you go.
Jesus.
Those
there you go.
Motherfuckers.
That's like a blanket statement for the times we live in. Nothing. Nobody's responsible for anything or accountable for anything.
That happened in the 70s too, when Mr. Carl Rogers came out with positive psychology. When we sit in front of you and tell you how great you are at everything, despite how shitty you are at everything. Yeah. And so as we start to tell you you're great at everything,
of course.
Now we can go, well, it's not a disease. It's a disease. I mean, it's not your fault.
Right.
So, just be in AA the rest of your life. Do nothing.
But wouldn't you agree, sorry to interrupt you, but it's kind of a disease?
To a point. What they're really trying to say is that after a long time of doing it, we don't know what's up with your brain. You had Carl Hart, Dr. Carl Hart on here. I'm a huge follower of him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
When he did, you had it on here, the brain scans. Everyone's seen the famous brain scan of methamphetamine and not. This person's on meth, this person's not. And you see the dark blue part and the light up part of the brain. Well, what they don't tell you is that's normal differentiation. If all of us took a brain map right now, it would all be different. And the difference between the person on meth and not on meth is within normal range. It means fucking nothing.
Right.
Really?
It means absolutely nothing.
Whoa. Yeah. So people just sort of acclimate to it?
They see a picture. It's McDonald's. I want that.
There it is right there.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
That's it.
How hilarious.
And he would say that means absolutely nothing. It's all normal differentiation.
Wow. So it varies throughout the day. It varies based on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Remember, he says that 85% of the people using methamphetamine have never been to rehab, never been on disability and work.
Yeah, he was very illuminating with a lot of the things that he was saying about what it actually feels like to get off of a drug. He's like, everybody makes it out like it's this horrible thing to withdraw. He's like, it's like having the flu. It's like you feel shitty for a little while.
Alcohol and benzodiazepines are truly the only 2 drugs you can die detoxing from. Alcohol is the worst. It affects every organ in your body at once.
Isn't that what took out Amy Winehouse? I think that's what took her out. I think she got off of alcohol.
Withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah, it just whacked her out. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Fucking alcohol did her in.
Yeah, man.
So how can you fix this thing? How can this thing be fixed?
Joe, she's dead. Joe, she's dead. There's nothing we can do about it.
No.
Oh, okay.
The first thing is decriminalization, period. I mean, you don't lock somebody up when they just need help trying to get their life together. And drugs are a fucking symptom. Stop treating the symptom. I mean, we got people all cooped up telling them they got fucking personal defects, whatever the fuck that means, and then sitting them in a circle and going.
I have a few of those.
No, but your higher power made you perfect.
Oh, okay. I was trying to get better, but not anymore.
We could just start a Kickstarter and try to get a border around Florida, give it to like Puerto Rico or something.
Yeah,
give it to them.
At what point do you get offended when someone has a Kickstarter? Do you get offended when someone want to kickstart like a tour or kickstart like a T-shirt line?
The kickstarting, like, hey, pay my rent, people, like that's a lot. Like I saw a Kickstarter the other day. The guy did Ren and Stimpy. I forget his name. Very popular artist, and he wants to do a new cartoon. It's that kind of stuff. I'm like creating something.
Right.
Yeah, but isn't he rich enough already?
No,
I don't know if he kept that money. He might have been doing blow.
Hey, I get sick kids. That's the one I always see.
Yeah, there's a lot of that one.
Well, hey, my kid's sick.
Those GoFundMe ones. The problem with those, like somebody will tweet them, would you please retweet this? And you're like, I definitely want to if it's real, but I definitely don't want to if it's fake.
Exactly.
So you don't. It's hard to tell. So you got to do a little fishing around before you, or you just got to say, well.
And then it's just too much work because I have to research to see if this kid even exists.
I asked for the X-ray of the kid's liver and.
Yeah.
I need a blood sample.
If you're in Florida, they would give you the
blood, stool, and urine.
Yeah, mail that kid's log to me. FedEx that piss to me tomorrow, and I'll send you $6.
It's nice that people do that, though. Like when something legitimately does come up and someone can help somebody, I think it's cool. I think it's one of the cooler things about the internet that we have. And that's ultimately what charity really should be, right? It shouldn't be like something that the government provides. It should be something that people provide to each other.
That's right.
Well, I mean, for the government, essentially, we have so many, hands in the pot. I mean, if we were all on an island and we all got some sort of virus, we got to finish the whole antibacterial, right? We got to finish the antibiotic, right, to be able to cure it. Well, what we're doing in the United States is going, here's 10 problems. Out of these 10 problems, all of you get one antibiotic. There you go. And then we'll be fine. That's what we're doing. I mean, you eventually got to pull everything and go, all right, we have to fix this first, and then we'll move on. One person or one field or one group of people has to finish the antibiotic to help out with the virus before we're just passing out to everybody.
Did you ever feel while you were working there that you were engaged in like a system that'll never be fixed?
Yeah.
I mean, you must feel like that.
It broke me, man. No shit, it broke me, man. I walked in, ready, like I said, ready to help the world and do what I can. And by the time I had to leave, kind of asked me to leave after about a year or so, I was just like, what the fuck? I started feeling bad for the patients that are caught up in it because now you're hooked on it so much, you believe it. I mean, and a lot of people are just doing what the white coat tells them. I mean, that's how kind of we're taught.
Right.
So you trust your doctor. But the days of trusting your doctor these days, unless you find really good ones, is fucking dead, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I got parents that call me that are friends of mine. And they're talking to me about putting, their kids on these drugs or this drug. And he's like a 6-year-old who's just an awesome fucking kid.
Yeah.
He's just running around like a badass, doing kid shit.
Yeah, get the little boys on Ritalin. Make them
10 minutes I try to convince this person nothing's wrong with their own child.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, something's wrong. Oh, look. So I'm like, yeah, look, he's 5 and he's awesome.
Well, when they tell you that a kid can't pay attention in school, so you got to put him on Adderall. I was talking to my friend Justin about this just yesterday. Couldn't pay attention in school, so they're putting him on Adderall. I go, dude, school is boring as fuck.
Especially for a kid.
And he's a wild little kid. Wild, energetic kid. So they tell you there's something wrong with you.
They put him on methamphetamine. Methamphetamine.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's like, what is it, a close cousin to methamphetamine?
Yeah, it's just one additional molecule that changes the makeup, but it's essentially the same thing.
Does it have the same effect on impulse control? Because isn't that like a big thing with meth? Like they start doing like really dumb shit?
Well, people that may have ADHD or whatever that is, they may have it. If, say, they drink caffeine or they do something like Adderall or a stimulant, it causes focus. And so you get focus, and if somebody that doesn't have attention problems or etc. drinks your coffee, you get hype, you get moving, you can't stay still, right?
So it does the opposite?
That's
Somebody
right.
who's got ADD, if they drink caffeine, they tend to focus more?
That's right.
So that makes, and I've heard that people that have ADD that drink coffee, sometimes they'll get sleepy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's me.
100.
Brian.
I could drink coffee at 2 in the morning and fall asleep.
But isn't that also a tolerance
Not me.
issue?
I
Because you
get
drink a
nuts.
lot of coffee? Because you drink a lot of caffeinated beverages,
That's
right?
true. And now that these cold press coffees, everyone has these cold press. They're like 10 times the amount of caffeine than like a regular iced coffee. This is 10 times more than an iced coffee from Starbucks, and iced coffee from Starbucks is 10 times more than like a hot coffee from Starbucks. There's some crazy amount.
So cold brew has more caffeine?
Oh yeah, tons.
Dude, you got
more.
to try one of those. Open up that refrigerator and get one of those caveman coffees.
I'm gonna try
those nitros.
Take can't even keep them in stock. Yeah,
dude.
they're so.
They get you a little too amped up. You go to the gym with those, I tear muscles.
Yeah, I started taking the. There's some things you may not know about your own alpha brain and new mood, man. I wanted to tell you, but
what do you want to tell me?
One, I fucking love it. It changed my life, but I don't want to put it out there. People may think that it really does what I'm going to say it does, but it's what it did for me.
Okay.
Literally.
Well, that's good to hear.
Quit smoking cigarettes because of that.
How's that?
I don't fucking know.
I don't think you could. I think you could quit smoking cigarettes because you didn't want to smoke cigarettes. I mean, I think
to a point.
What Alpha Brain does is it helps your memory, helps what they call executive function, even helps reaction time. There's all sorts of things that's been proven that all the ingredients in that stuff do. But
and new mood.
Well, those are good things. They've all. Well, I had Dr. Rhonda Patrick on the podcast yesterday, and she's amazing, and she was talking about addiction, and she was talking about people with impulse control issues, and related that to serotonin deficiencies and 5-HTP and L-tryptophan, which is what new mood's made out of, which converts to serotonin in your body, and how important that is to maximize that, to keep you, like, literally your impulse control and addictions and things like that can be affected by those chemicals that are in your brain, and you can supplement those chemicals and literally change like the way you behave. It's fucking bizarre stuff.
Naturally, without
drugs.
That's right.
Yeah, and no withdrawal symptoms. If you don't take Alpha Brain, you just didn't take it. It doesn't do anything to you. Same thing with just regular 5-HTP that you can get at any store. Just regular 5-HTP that you can get at any vitamin store will absolutely enhance your brain's production of serotonin. So much so that they tell people that are on SSRIs to not take it.
Yeah.
Because if you're taking that stuff, you could get like serotonin syndrome where you have too much serotonin.
I want that.
No.
God, please let me have that. I ate mushrooms twice in Toronto this last weekend.
Shit, son.
Friday and Saturday night. But the second day, I don't know if mushrooms takes your serotonin and all, but Saturday I was so sad. I was crying at everything. I was just in my hotel room crying.
I've never heard that before. Does it?
Sure, it wasn't the hotel.
Does it do that?
But all you got to do is pop 2 new mood after that, and you're gravy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just your levels get depleted by mushrooms?
I never heard of mushrooms, but that's what somebody else told me. Because the second night I was just a mess.
Maybe it's just the 2 nights in a row. You just wrecked it.
Yeah.
Do you still off the cigarettes?
I kind of cheated in Toronto.
Son of a bitch.
It was hard. You're on mushrooms and everyone's smoking. And I went to this bar. I went to this bar.
You know how it is, Nick.
I went to this bar. It was awesome. It's called the Bill Hicks Bar. And this guy owns a bar called the Bill Hicks Bar. And it's this really small bar. And you walk in and it's the most amazing little hole-in-the-wall bar. Drinks are super cheap. And he's just a huge Hicks fan. And he's like the nicest owner ever.
What a great idea for a bar.
I highly recommend it. It's called Bill Hicks Bar.
Where is it?
It's right down the street from the Comedy Underground.
From the Louis Anderson pub.
The Louis Anderson
Nick,
daycare.
You got to see Hicks when he came through Boston, didn't you?
I got to see Hicks when I moved to New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He actually came up to me and said he liked one of my bits about girls having dirty tits or something. He did.
I remember that bit,
dude. Yeah.
I remember that bit. That bit was hilarious.
And I was like, oh my God. I was like, Ted Williams just told me I could hit a baseball. You know, I was like, fucking.
Yeah, even when he was like in his 30s, he was just such a strange guy to everybody. He was like a mystical guy. Like even before, he died really young. He was only like 32 or 33 when he died.
Yeah,
the Bill Hicks Bar.
Yeah, and then we walk in and he's watching like
$4.95.
Fletch on this really small TV, and he has all these records hanging up.
Did it just start? It says this shit's open. July 13th. Is that what it says?
No,
18th?
it's been open for a while. But yeah, he closed the bar just for us, and everyone from the show came over, and we just drank
Sounds
all
like
night.
Brian's having a goddamn party in Toronto, like a
really,
rock
yeah.
star. Look at you, hanging out with Dean Del Rey, partying rock star style.
And he's sitting there eating candy, and just has bags of candy. He's like, Brian, check this out, and like all these different Twizzlers while I'm shrooming.
He doesn't do anything, right?
He doesn't do anything. He's been sober for 20-some years.
Meanwhile, he's wrecking his body by eating candy.
Oh, that's what I was telling him. Because he's like, I quit caffeine. I'm like, yeah, but you just ate 7 Snickers bars and you have 20 gummy bears in your hands.
I love when dudes have like horrible health habits and when they'll talk about how they quit doing one of them. Quit caffeine. He was telling me the other day that my memory's better, everything's better. Quit that caffeine, man. I'm done.
Quit caffeine, yeah.
As he ate like $1,000 worth of barbecue, the next day.
Barbecue's not bad for you. It's not as bad for you as sugar.
Yeah,
sugar is fucking bad, man. That was one thing that Rhonda was covering yesterday, like what the effect of inflammation of sugar when you eat it and what it does to your gut health.
Poison, man.
Yeah, especially as we get the BRH, Nick DiPaolo, get a little bit older.
I was never a sugar guy, though.
No? I'm less of a sugar guy.
I'm getting so as I get older, though.
Yeah,
I'm going the other way. I'm starting to like ice cream and shit. I never liked ice cream and cookies. And
they say that about old people.
That's right. My old man, that's all he eats now. Seriously.
Ice cream.
It's because you can taste it.
I know
that's right.
No
Who
sugar.
said that? That's right, bro.
No sugar?
Note to self when I'm older. So just to leave the sugar alone.
Yeah, it's just
you can't help it. It's all you can taste.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's one of the big reasons.
I have a bit about it. That's why I eat girls' butts now, because I can taste it.
What are they, shitting cotton candy?
No,
Who are you eating?
You can't taste it anymore.
Many years of seasoning.
That's why I'm eating girls' ass. Yeah, when I think of sugar treats.
That's how Brian thinks. He's got a very linear path. He doesn't question it.
Not into the proteins up front.
What is that shirt you're wearing?
David Cho.
Oh, it's one of his art pieces?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wow. David Cho.
Yeah, wore my special shirt today, too.
What is that?
Is that one of your clients,
that?
former clients?
Is that El
Here's a
Chapo?
kid I didn't know.
Kid with a gun.
That's El Chapo. And they said,
That's right.
That was his middle school picture.
That's right. No, it's I stole it from my friend D, but it's a shirt trying to get awareness that if the drug problem, what they're doing, the cartels are over there. This is how the kids are coming up, and it's just kind of doing awareness.
Is that a
to the
real
idea.
kid?
Oh, I don't know how they did it, but they made it happen.
He's got a big hand.
Yeah, he's got Will Chamberlain's
Probably
hand.
has a fucking hog on him.
Yeah, I got approached by 3 Mexicans in a parking lot when I wore this shirt that I thought they were gonna.
And they liked it.
No,
they're mad at you.
They're mad at you.
What did they say to you? Hey, white
rather
boy.
upset.
Well, who said they're Mexican?
And then I explained it, and they were like, "Oh, that's good. Never mind. That's good. That's good." But it's offensive at the first look. Like most people, they look at it and go, "Oh shit, I'm offended right away."
Naturally.
Jesus.
And they get angry
Get a drug
at you.
for that, would you, please?
Yeah, they do.
The drug for
Take
that
that.
is called shame.
You ever make them less sensitive?
Right.
Shame.
Little Game of Thrones action.
Yeah. You watch Game of Thrones, Nick DiPaolo? How dare you?
Fuck that shit.
Natasha Leggero's hilarious. I brought it up to her. She goes, I don't like those shows that are just make-em-ups.
I can't.
They just decide
I'm with her.
whatever, they just make things up.
Most shows
I can't suspend my disbelief. I can't even watch real movies where fucking I'm watching Angelina Jolie beat up 6 fucking male Navy SEALs. I'm sorry, I can't get there.
Listen, if you know good moves and the heels are strong, they could take your landing on them. That's the best. Stilettos.
Stilettos.
Ronda Rousey probably kick a lot of dudes' asses.
Well, no,
with
but I was
stilettos.
going to say that to you. I'm watching. This is where political correctness always has to go one step too far. I'm watching Bryant Gumbel and his stupid fucking Real Sports, and he has to. They have to make the comment. The guy goes, Ronda Rousey is the pound for pound, both male or female, best mixed martial arts fighter in the. Well, gee, let's find that out. There's an easy way to find that out.
There's no
Isn't
way
there?
to find that out. The reality about that is it's totally subjective. In his opinion, she could be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, but you can never prove that. That's all just completely speculation. But
well, you put her against a guy with her experience and her weight.
Yeah.
Mayweather.
And then you find out.
Yeah.
Just like they did in the 70s. Remember Wild World of Sports? That guy?
I think you got to, pound for pound, you got to separate the genders. This is why.
But they didn't in the premise, Joe. That's my point.
See, the premise, it's a fake premise.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but it's a
fake
politically
premise.
correct premise.
You're right. It's a fake
nobody
premise.
calls people on this bullshit. I'm fucking sitting there yelling at the TV. Well, okay. And both male, female, she's the best. Well, let's fucking find out.
I know somebody was calling somebody on some bullshit last night on stage, man. You were killing it last night calling that shit out. I'm not giving away any bits or anything.
Thank you very much.
You were ripping somebody up, Joe?
No, it's just fun.
No, it was awesome. Some people do it, is all I'm saying. Some people call out bullshit, and that's just.
Oh, Joe does.
I did not know that. This is fucking weird, man. What a weird time we're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just seems like there's more wackiness going on right now in the world than any time that I could ever remember. Does it seem like that? Like more hypocrisy, more contradiction, more chaos, more what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
We got to get through this shit, right, before it gets better. I'm guessing. I don't know. Does it get worse before it gets better?
When the words mean nothing, when the language starts, when words don't mean anything anymore, that's a sign of the times.
When language doesn't mean anymore, like what do you mean?
Political correctness, like shit. It just doesn't mean anything anymore. I see people. I saw people yesterday on the news out here somewhere protesting. They were upset because the restrictions are too much on sex offenders. once they release. They were picketing.
Oh my God!
We're
For
fucking
real?
finished. Yeah,
Is
for
that
real.
Really, someone was
if
protesting?
I made a movie making fun of, I couldn't believe what I was watching. It's like a parody of.
The sex offender one is a fucked up one because there's evidence that shows that when you molest a child, that child is more likely, you're damage them so fucked up, they're more likely to molest somebody else. Of
course.
Like you can literally infect them with this sickness that you have.
Most people that are molesters have been molested.
Absolutely.
How fucking crazy is that? I mean, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. Just a horrible, horrible, horrible disease. I mean, that's like a disease. It's like a disease of the psyche, like a herpes of the psyche, like more worse, like an AIDS of the psyche. You know,
It's a choice.
Yeah.
How dare you?
What
about disease?
Can you imagine running that study,
It's a
though?
fucking choice.
Well, it certainly is a choice to decide whether or not to do exactly the same thing that happened to you. But the desire to do it is what's fucked up. Like the idea, like to everyone in this room, I just assume, I like you guys, I assume none of you want to fuck kids. Right?
No, but I've seen a girl underage, and I'm like, holy shit, what a piece of ass. And I made the decision not to fucking try to move on her.
But that's different. That's
No, it
like
ain't.
17 and 18. And one of the reasons why
I'm
it's
talking
different.
14 with a nice ass.
Dare you? How dare you?
Do you think there's less molesters now because since porn has become so available and more available to people that you think there's less molesters?
That's a good argument. You know, there's arguments for that. One of the arguments is that if you give people a release, like video games or like watching even like really offensive, violent porn, that you release that tension inside of them. And the other argument is that it stimulates their fantasy and they want to go out and make it reality. I don't know which one's right. I think the problem is it's both. I think with some people it's going to stimulate their fantasies and they're going to want to go out and actually do that. And with other people it's going to satiate their evil tendencies.
And some people that were molested, they think that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you know, somebody, you know, like, shit, I was beat as a kid, you know, coming up it was violent enough. And so early in my life, I thought that that's what you do. Somebody says no, doesn't do shit, you hurt them or you hurt something, you know?
Right.
And so you just kind of register that this is what happens and this is what you do. And so a lot of people, they were, you know, I don't know, I want to tell a client's story. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure. Just don't say any names.
Yeah, she was molested for 8 years by her brother. Oof. And underneath out in the barn where their dad used to work on the car, they had dug a hole. And they would work underneath the car, so the brother would take her in the middle of the night and do that. Then Dad finds out 8 years, and then he joins in for the next 10.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and counsel that shit.
What?
Yeah, look at him and say it's not your fault. You have a disease. Now you're fine. Go home.
Oh my God.
Yeah, get through that.
You can never get a regular life back. It's like that girl's life is so scarred with those images and memories, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But now she'll think that's what she has to do. So she goes and would begin to put herself in situations to be raped.
Oh God!
Because that's the comfort zone. That's where they're supposed to be. They believe.
Oh my God! Now, someone could possibly protest against stiff sentences to that. That's insane. That's insane that people are protesting that.
They're developing communities now. They're starting to move in one section of cities and gather in total cities like that.
Through like websites or something like that?
Yeah. Move into certain areas, man. And guess what? It's in Florida.
Dark web. You know, all that
No
fucking
shit.
dark web.
I thought
shit.
Florida was weird when I was like 18.
It's fucked up, man.
When
lived
Cops
there.
first came out, I go, is there any episodes not from fucking Florida?
Right.
The whole west coast of Florida.
I was asking that years ago, and now
Yeah.
like comics, there's a ton of comics who do that premise now. But I was like, every episode's from what the fuck's going on in Ocala?
I just left. I've been living on Marco Island in Naples down south.
I know where Marco Island is. Yeah.
I left there. You could probably change the Southwest Florida tagline to "Come be as racist as you want to be." You know what I mean? You could. It's crazy. I mean, in gated communities, they're hanging the O word up in the front. I mean, they're doing shit like that.
I found a word out in Florida that I never heard before. Geechees.
What the hell's that?
You ever heard of Geechees?
Lost.
Damn. Geechees is a derogatory term for African Americans.
That's the first for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm from Ocoee.
It's a dude who lived in West Palm told me that.
Yeah.
They were saying that when they grew up, they were all using the word Geechee, like to describe black people.
What does that mean? What's the derivative?
I don't know. It's like their version of the N-word.
Wow. That's the first for me.
Really?
They just use the N-word.
Doesn't sound like it was a real
Segura,
epidemic.
Holla at me. Tom Segura knows the story. Matter of fact, I think Tom Segura was the one. Yeah, Tom Segura was the one who told me about it.
I think
Tom Segura grew up in Florida.
I got a yell back on the Hey Kane on Sunset the other night, yelling like a black guy.
Oh, did you did that to him?
Yeah, no, well, it wasn't to him. I just yelled it and I got it back, man.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I got a Hey Jay back, whoever Jay is. I don't. Hey Jay.
What?
Tom Segura does this thing. Explain the thing that Tom Segura does. He yells it out.
You got to yell like a black guy. And shit, I could try to do it. It was like, hold up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right, then I don't need to do it.
Bikes.
He has this thing where, like, if you go around a bunch of black people, yell like a black guy, like yell something out. Someone will like yell back.
That's hilarious.
I heard you took the title. Did you take the title?
No, I took the title on Tom or Black. I'm the new champion of Tom or Black. I don't know if you know what that is, but Tom Segura on his podcast, he's got a fucking hilarious podcast with his wife. His wife is a really funny comic. And Your Mom's House is their podcast. They do this thing where it's Tom or Black, where Tom pretends to be black guys. His audio recordings, it's either Tom or a black guy, and you have to guess.
Oh, he can really nail that.
It's pretty close, but I'm the champ. I fucking called him out.
Oh, are you?
7 out of 10, I was correct.
7 out of 10, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a good ear. Got a good ear for bullshit.
Oh, a lot of black.
Yeah.
But he's pretty goddamn good. He's pretty good at it. There was a couple that really tricked me, but they're really hard. It's not the same audio quality. Like some of them are recorded outside. Some of them sound like an old movie.
And you know him.
And I know him very well, so it's kind of cheating.
I was just yelling like it. Now
so
it's even funnier.
What's up, Kane? What's up, dude? And then they yell something back at you.
Because there was a time when I could slang that dialect.
Well, you have that Florida accent.
I can crack it.
Which is you've got a little bit of urban in your twang.
I do that. I can go black
most of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you grow up around a lot of black people?
I did.
Did you? There you go.
Both where
Big
I was
Eminem
from.
fan?
You're either You're either
no.
You're either redneck or ghetto. That was it. Where I'm from.
You only get two options.
That was it, man.
Liberal or conservative?
Or you could be me in the middle, and some days be called wigger, and then some days be called preppy. Depends on what day it was and who you were hanging out with.
Okay. Florida's just such a strange fucking place.
Yeah.
It is, man.
I went through immigration in Florida, landed from Costa Rica to Florida, and the person at the counter in Costa Rica, when they were writing what is the doc, whatever it is, when they have to take account of everybody who's in the airplane, what's that called?
Oh, the form they hand out?
Yeah, what is that?
Questionnaire.
Questionnaire. They have a form that everyone on the airplane, the docket, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Airline docket?
I think so.
I think that's it.
Immigration.
Anyway, everyone's name. Brian Redband,
where
DiPaolo,
you're living.
They spelled my name wrong. So because I spelled my name wrong, my name did not match up with the name on my passport. So I had to go through this fucking giant line. You go into this room and you can't believe it's real. You can't believe it's real. I mean, it's fucking insane. There are thousands of people, and they're all going through because there was some sort of an error. And then once you get through that, you go into another room because they know that your baggage, if you flew from somewhere else and you have a connecting flight, they know your baggage is never going to fucking make it. You pick up your baggage. You have to go through the immigration. Then you pick up your baggage. Then you have to get on another plane. But everyone misses their plane. I mean, everyone misses their connection because the wait time is hours and hours and hours. We gave ourselves 2.5 hours. We were fucked by over an hour. By over an hour, we were fucked. It was insane. And they won't take your baggage within 45 minutes of the scheduled departure time. Forget about the actual departure time because most of the flights are delayed. But the scheduled departure time, they lock it down. And if at 45 minutes till it gets delayed post that, it doesn't matter. They don't open up the luggage. Fuck you. Wow. So you are stuck in this insane maze of ropes. And people are going crazy. And they have people have to leave to take a leak. They're holding it in if they can. I had my kids with me, 5 and 7.
Oh, God.
And they dealt with this for 3 hours. It's crazy. And it's fun after a while, but everywhere you look, Ebola signs. Ebola, signs of Ebola, signs of Ebola. And it's hot, and you're in Miami, and
you're breathing and touching
thousands of people. And I'm trying to tell my daughter, don't put your mouth on the railing. Don't put your mouth on this thing. She's 5.
God.
You know, they have that. She's bored out of her fucking head.
Yeah, they touch their face.
I mean, we're trying to play games. We're trying to joke around. We're trying to have some fun, trying to laugh about stuff. But after a while, it's 5 years old, 3 hours in this fucking stupid line, only to get up to find out that somebody just wrote my name down wrong.
Jesus.
That's what caused all that shit?
Yes, it was so ridiculous. It's so crazy.
It's like Hertz Rent-A-Car at LAX.
Yeah, so trying to there was no white people working there. No managers. Like DiPaolo. There was Cuban people
that wasn't my
working
beef,
there.
Joe, but
there's Cuban people working there that literally didn't speak English. Like I would go, now once I go to this machine, where do I go for U.S. Customs? U.S. Customs, you go to the kiosk? Have to go to the kiosk? You go to the here? I go, this guy literally didn't speak English. In America, working at the airport.
Well, that's what I was just bitching about. You made me out to be a racist. That's what I was saying.
It's a different thing. I'm not talking about Hertz Rental Car.
Yeah, I know. It's even worse.
Do they don't speak English at Hertz Rental Cars?
I couldn't tell what this guy was saying to me. I'm serious. He was mumbling. He had an accent I'd never fucking heard of. He wouldn't look me in the fucking eye.
Oh,
and that doesn't make you racist.
You're
I'm
the white
pointing out fucking... Yeah, I'm the white oppressor. You got to get out of fucking Hollywood, dude. You've been fucking... They are poisoning you. You fucking lost all touch with how it's supposed to be.
Not hard to troll Nick DiPaolo. It's very, very easy to troll Nick DiPaolo.
Come on, please. That and your 9 cups of fucking Joe coffee.
That helps, too. Get you a little on the edge. Don't fuck with that caveman coffee nitro shit that Brian's drinking.
I'm half a can.
I've never had a Red Bull.
You've never had a Red Bull?
No.
No? If you want some real coffee.
I get nuts on 3 cups of coffee. I can't imagine. No, that just looks like...
You are not going to drink that after he talked about licking buttholes.
Yeah, exactly. Is that going to taste like sugar?
You're not going to get anybody to drink out of that.
Cleanest part of a woman.
Yeah, if she's bulimic. If she's anorexic.
There's people right now warming up their fingers to enter into their Tumblr account. People are very upset at you right now.
You must be eating some skinny chicks.
That's what Eddie Bravo used to say. The girls are on meth. You know, like it's better to have anal sex with girls that are on meth because they don't eat, so they never poop.
Oh yeah.
True. Like
that's the rationalization.
That you know that.
Could say that about a constipated girl too.
Now, when you're doing these counseling programs, do they ever have people come in for weed?
Yes, actually.
What do you do? Get them on heroin?
Yeah.
I try to avoid
fucking pussy. What are you trying to do? Be healthy?
But some of them actually come visit a job. They've been tested, so they have to come and go through it. So I don't pay a whole lot of attention to them anyway.
So what do you do when you say if a guy comes in and they say
they're sitting in the same group? It's all group therapy, which is the shitty part because a group therapy modality to treat drug addiction is awful, but it's cheap.
I always wanted a job where I could say modality. No, actually sound like if I say it, I'm an asshole. I have no reason to ever say modality. It's like a clever word. It's like you're
the group tool or the
no, it's perfect. The word. It's just I'm making fun of my own vocabulary.
But it's a bad one, man. I mean, AA and NA, I'm not going to front, has helped millions. And I mean, I'm a fan of whatever works for you. I mean, if somersaults work for you, fucking do that if it helps you. So I couldn't bash anything that helps people.
Right.
But I will point out some flaws in systems. I mean, the cult-like existence of it. And then you tell them to change people, places, and things, but I need you every day to meet with the same people at the same places talking about the same things.
Yeah, it does sound
I mean, how do you change your life if every night I got to show up and go, well, I'm really missing that fucking needle. I really... And you'll see them, they paint these stories, and then people are around them like... Yeah.
You can see
He's like, oh man, when you wrap it and that whole ritual of going, and I have to stop them. I have to be like, dude, stop. 2 people leave the room.
Well, you're right. They don't do that Jenny Craig. They don't get up and go, I had this cheeseburger the other night. It was fucking tremendous.
No.
Tell me about
Chipotle sauce.
And then
blue cheese? What kind of cheese? I like blue cheese.
Exactly.
I was like a cheeseburger with blue cheese. It's exotic.
Oh, my goodness.
A lot of ego stroking at that shit, man.
So,
that's a good point.
They go there and they talk with romantic terms about how much they used to shoot heroin, and then you give them a Suboxone.
Then at the end they go, but I'm 3 days clean. And everybody's like, yeah!
But they're taking Suboxone.
That's right. So you're not fucking clean.
So is Suboxone like the same effect as heroin?
It's all the same.
All the same when it enters into the body.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
A lot of people, they get that white shit right there. That's what I know a few people who took that shit.
Now,
that's the first thing I noticed.
I always wanted to know this. What is the difference between heroin and methadone? I know methadone is really bad for you, but we used to, when I used to play pool in New York, I used to play at Executive Billiards in White Plains that was down the street from this methadone clinic. And so we would call them the Methadonians. They would come in and play pool, and they were all like fucking completely zoned out, slack jaw, and just play pool, and they were terrible. There was they won't ever really learn how to play, but they would be there all the time. They would come in there almost every day, but they would never get good at pool. They would just come in and zone out and bang balls around.
It's the longest treatment for heroin that's been around, methadone. If I couldn't get into the molecules and the breakdown of it, that's not my specialty, but from the behavior of it, of how people use it, it's still daily. I mean, and a methadone clinic will only give you up to so much. So you go every day, get your dose, and go on about your fucking day.
Wow.
Then you go back, get your dose, go on about your fucking day.
So why is that a substitute? It's not physically good for them.
Because they control how much they give you, so you don't...
That's the only difference, really. They're controlling the amount.
Right.
And it's an actual taxed synthetic. It's crazy because it's actually worse for you.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Heroin's better.
Natural, right?
Yeah. Well,
well, not really natural. That's maybe the wrong word.
Grass-fed.
Huh?
It's grass. It's gluten
Well,
free.
it's poppies.
No GMOs.
Poppies.
Organic heroin.
Well, I always wondered why the fuck they can't grow it in the United States. I'm like, with all the greenhouses that we have, how come they can't grow coke here? Why do they have to get it from Mexico?
I don't know. I've been trying for years. Nothing but weeds and tomatoes.
Well, I mean, you can think about why it invents Suboxone to begin with. We all 80%
make money, right?
Well, 80% of the black tar heroin's from Afghanistan. Well, if you want to fight an enemy, where do you hurt them? In the fucking pockets. That's where you hit them.
Right.
So what do you do?
Fields.
Back in, I don't know, 70s, 80s, heroin was pretty expensive to a point, and then it would fluctuate. And then Suboxone's hit, and all of a sudden heroin, you can get a $10 bag of black tar heroin easy.
Right.
And a lot of people go to the heroin because prescriptions are too expensive, right?
That's what they substitute. So if they run out and their copay hasn't come up yet, or their days haven't flipped yet, or they've sold all the pills, then they just stop by and they see the same guy. It's the same dude on the corner most of the time. He's like, what, Suboxone or the heroin? And it's switch. And they did a...
but Suboxone you just have to take as a pill, whereas heroin you have to prepare it. You have to either
few ways
shoot
you
it
can
or
do it.
smoke it or do something with it.
You like to cook late at night. You're grilling your fish and you got your black tar on the...
Blacked out in front of my steak, facing the mashed potatoes.
You see that, though, at these facilities, man.
That's why my friend George, he died, and that's one of the things that happened before he died. He was out playing pool with some friends of mine, and he fucking passed out his mashed potatoes. He really did. He fell asleep right into his food. And he was a straight-laced guy. Straight edge guy, didn't smoke cigarettes. He was a championship pool player. And then as he got older, he hurt his back somehow.
That's how it starts.
Got him on some fucking pills, and he was gone. Kid was gone.
I'd say half of the people in the group start out that way. So if they make us manage a group of like 15 to 22 if it's Medicare, and that's the group therapy I'm running. Many times I'm in 28, 30, which is also a violation completely. But I'd say half the people in there were just normal guys, you know, that got an injury, or girls, you know, got an injury, something happened, car wreck or something, you know, here's a pill, before you know it, you know, the divorce, lost everything, you know, they're, you know, had some epilepsy or some seizures, and then they're sitting in there going, I don't know what happened.
It's amazing.
That fast, those pain pills, you know, can take it, when fucking marijuana does the same thing.
But does it, though? I don't know if it does,
Now, extreme pain.
I had morphine drip. Morphine, one of those morphine
I enjoy
drips.
the morphine.
I had
my
one
shoulder
at the,
injuries.
Oh, what do you have done on your shoulders?
Oh, I destroyed them in high school.
Did you ever get them fixed?
Oh, fuck yeah. I had reconstructive on both.
I'm trying to avoid one. I got a labrum tear on this one, but I got a stem cell shot the other day. I don't know if it's going to work. If it doesn't work, I'm going on to the knife.
But I woke up from one of the surgeries on morphine, and I got operated on Christmas Eve. I was like a senior in high school or whatever. And there was a big styrofoam candy cane like in the room, and I hit the nurse over the head with it. Fuck.
Did you know what you were doing?
No, I was on fucking morphine. You talk about a guy who all I did was drink in high school. I didn't fucking do drugs. All of a sudden I'm on morphine. I fucking get out of my room.
Did it fix your shoulders?
Can you I played football in college after both operations. I had a guy named Lyle McKaylee. I still remember his name.
Wow.
And I went to a doctor because I had a little bit of a tear a few years ago. And I mentioned my doctor's name. This was back in the 80s. And he goes, I just went to Harvard to listen to him speak.
Wow.
The guy that worked on my shoulders.
So you had a tear recently?
That was like... I had a slight tear like five years ago.
And so they just said they don't have to operate on it?
Yeah, no, it was nothing. But
yeah.
I messed them up when I was younger. I dislocated them each about 30 times, and I separated.
Jesus.
I did This guy did 30 of these operations, 30 to 40 a year. He'd been doing them for 20 years, and he did my first one. He goes, "That's the worst shoulder I've ever seen." Then he did my second one. He goes, "That was worse than your first one."
Wow.
Back in the 80s, we were lifting. We wouldn't stretch, trying to bench 300 pounds. You know what I mean? Just stupid shit. And then when I got hit in football, it was really the weights that fucked me up, you know?
I played ball for a little while.
You helped me a lot when I was an open micer without even knowing it. Because I saw you on stage, and I said, this guy does not look like a fucking comedian. He looks like a big football player looking handsome bastard. Yeah, but yet you were funny.
But I was like, people hate you for that.
They do.
Well, because we live in this business is Nerdville. They fucking this is their turf.
Well,
they hated me.
Mark Maron literally said, like he was joking around about it, but he said he really felt like this is not for you guys.
Yeah,
this is not for you guys. Well, I thought I was
I know,
insecure, and then I saw because I was an open mic, but I saw you. I go, oh, okay, he can do it. If he can do it, he's better looking than me. If he can do it, I'm like, he's bigger and handsomer. Like, I'm all right. I'll sneak in. Nick DiPaolo's working.
That's funny. I have a clip for me, like literally my second year in the business, doing like an 8-minute set at the Comedy Connection.
Player.
Yeah, and I have a suit jacket on, and it fits me like Shannon Sharp wears his, like on CBS Sports. It fit like a T-shirt. It looks so stupid. I got that greasy Italian mullet. I even hate it. I'm looking at it. No wonder why people hated me.
Well, you were a big, thick dude.
Yeah, I mean, I played up at Maine and was fucking lifting weights every day, and you could tell the nerds just fucking they just don't. That's what kills me about people like this in this business. They hate people who are intolerant, yet they fucking like you. We go, oh, get the this guy's an asshole.
They just automatically like to assume that you're one of those intolerant
that
people
beat them up.
Yeah, you're like,
which was true. No, I got along with everybody. Nerds, fucking guys who did drugs, and
yeah, so did I. I knew a lot of guys that did drugs, and I knew a lot of nerds. I knew a lot of guys who did drugs, and that's what kept me from doing drugs when I was in high school.
That's right. That's right.
I had my friend Jimmy. He's got an older cousin, and we had some mutual friends, and his mutual friends, they were 3 or 4 years older than me. So when I was like 14 and 15, these guys were fucking hitting the wall. They were getting out of high school and just losing their fucking minds and selling drugs and falling apart and losing weight and getting addicted. I was watching guys' lives spiral out of control. Yeah. And I was like, fuck coke.
Sometimes that's the best way to show somebody.
Sometimes it is. Yeah. It sucks that somebody has to be your sacrificial goat.
Yeah.
You have to watch somebody fall apart at the altar. You know?
It's true.
Well, that's like, it's like classic. It's a classic way that people learn, by watching other people fuck up. And when you take away the possibility of people fucking up, then you get into some weird state that you've got in these clinics, where it's like you're not really fucking up, so you're not really hitting rock bottom, so the other people don't even see you as doing that bad. You know? Like, there's Nick, he stays in the house.
That's the new normal,
They give me Laboxin. It's good. I got a good place with Laboxin.
They have these rehab romances that happen all the time. It's a thing. They're in there, because I think people connect in fear more than they do love. So two people will meet and they'll go like,
"How dare you?"
Well, what's your disability check? What's my disability check? And they go like, "You know what? I love you. We can do this together."
Fuck yeah.
And then they go out and doesn't make
tattoos.
Well, they did an episode
black nail polish. That's my girl.
Well, you see them, they all have the bands on because they get bands from the meetings that they go to. And so they wear everyone beads. And so you'll see the 12-step beads all over, tons of beading, and there's arts and crafts. It's summer camp.
And then a week later, they're down at Mardi Gras throwing them some guys.
Fucking party!
All fucked up. Well, it's weird because I got notes of summer camp to where these people come back so much. Their hand things they draw and their art that they did the last time in rehab are all over the wall and shit. And so they're coming back like it was
turkeys. That's what you're talking about,
I'm dead
right?
serious. They draw their hands and their
like
5 affirmations. You know?
5 affirmations.
Oh, it wasn't hand.
They have diseases. It's a disease, Nick DiPaolo.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
Don't do it, Joe.
But it's kind of a disease, right?
Nope.
Being addicted. No. He says nope. Just nope. No room for discussion. You say nope as well.
I love the discussion.
No, there's room for discussion. I've fucking discussed it a million times.
Don't bring it up in a facility,
let me get rid of the word disease, because I think disease, like a lot of other words, has a lot of weight behind it.
It's general, though.
So let's just say instead of a disease, when a person becomes addicted to something, there's obviously a physical issue. So we'll call it a disease, call it an ailment, call it something. When someone gets addicted,
call it a behavior.
It's definitely a behavior that locked it in. But once you get addicted and you're just trapped in the clutches of a drug, what is that if it's not a disease?
For me, it's behavioral. For me, it's all behavioral. To the idea that the using is a symptom. The drugs themselves, it's a symptom of something else.
Right.
I would tell you that 8 out of the 10 people that are sitting in my group therapy when I was doing it have been child abused. Have been through some serious shit.
Right.
And so most of it comes from that. Now the drugs they put on top of it, if you only counsel, hey, you're so focused on this drug, it becomes the drug is the problem.
Right.
And you ignore the shit that the person's going through, been through, the fact that, I don't know, whatever's happened to them. And so we'd rather beat them up about their inability to make a choice not to do a drug than really work out of what's the drug give you? What are you getting by using the drug? You know, can you teach how to use the drug better? Can you swap drugs even? I mean,
so they just get pimped out by the system, essentially.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. And bipolar, this fucking diagnosis that drives me absolutely insane. Now, there's a DSM-4. You know the DSM-4?
Why does it drive you insane?
Because everybody, thinks they have it. And it's really, really rare. It's a rare diagnosis.
I think I got it.
That's what people do.
I feel like I got it.
Ex-girlfriends all
Google
had it.
some shit.
Do I look like maybe?
Bipolar?
No.
No, but didn't you say when you were a kid?
5-HTP.
When I first met you, you said you had like a testosterone and over amount. When you said you were like, when I first met you doing comedy, you were like,
well, I was.
Oh, was it a thyroid?
No.
You were like fucking
when you
nuts.
first met me, yeah. No, I was still fighting. Yeah, I was. I mean, that was just out of my mind, out of fear, I'm sure.
But no, you said when you were younger, as a kid, you always had like hyper energy and shit.
When you grow up with violence, I grew up with domestic violence. When you grow up with that, you're programmed to respond and react quickly. You know who told me about this?
Hypervigilance. We call it hypervigilance.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of studies being done on kids who grew up in violent households, and when they become football players or pro football players and they're involved in domestic violence or fighters as well, they develop this hair trigger reaction to things, overreact, make like mistakes that they can't rebound from. Yeah. And a lot of it is because they think of the actual programming that occurs when they're in the womb, even when their mother is experiencing violence from the father.
That's right.
Literally changes their genes in the womb.
It does. They actually come out and fearful of the father's voice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Michael Irvin told me this. I was on a plane flight with him just randomly and luckily. He's the nicest fucking guy in the world.
I like her.
He's cool.
Such a nice guy. Yeah. And we were flying to Australia together. This is a long-ass flight. So we had a long conversation. Because, you know, they have that little area in the middle where the bathroom is. You could stand up and stretch your legs.
Yeah.
Him and I are just talking about football and about the work that he's been doing with young kids that grow up around violence. So that was, you know, I'd grown up around that. And then I'd competed in martial arts tournaments from the time I was 15 to 21. So I was, when you met me, I was very crazy. I was like from 21 till it took me a long time to relax. You know,
I feel the same, Joe. I don't know what your family life was like, but mine was violent every day, man, day in and day out. And I played football myself. I used to be 245. I was a lot bigger than this. And, you know, I had that hair trigger. That was the reaction. And that's why I went into football. And what I like to talk to people about is, I mean, it's a war zone. When your home is really like that and you're a child, there's no difference than going to Afghanistan.
That's horrible.
And a soldier going through what they go through. Right, post-traumatic stress. And then a 3-year-old that every day is watching, you know, his father choke his mom to sleep.
Right.
Throw her across the room or put guns in their own mouths. But
mine sounds a lot less than yours. And I got out when I was 5. And then my mom remarried the nicest guy. He's like a hippie. So changed.
That's cool.
Completely. All violence was gone.
Vibe.
All violence was gone. So then I had to reintroduce it into my life by fighting.
Football was that outlet for me, man.
Right.
I got an adopted 15-year-old daughter. So when you hear about the stepdad, you know, when you say that, her dad's a piece of shit. He's out of the picture and has been since she was 5. So for about 10 years, she's mine. And I think we came in just in time, you know, to where none of that's around, you know, but the violence does so much for the influence and what children do and become and how they react. I mean, if you go back to the primal era, you know, when we had to react, it was life or death, fight or flight. You implement that into a 3-year-old who literally, or 7 or 5, who's literally worried about the big monster named Daddy who's going to cut on the hall light and come in the room.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a fucking giant to these tiny, you know.
Right.
And then you're picked up
and then we add that, and then think about that woman who was molested by her brother and her father.
Add that.
Fuck.
That's right. And you're going to say, what? Come here for 30 days and let's talk about it and good luck? I mean, that's it? That's what we fucking offer them? Just here's more drugs.
God damn it.
You know, I've had some clients where I wanted to be like, you know what, just keep doing fucking drugs, man. It's not going to get any better. You're having more fun this way. You know, just control it. Try not to kill yourself.
Do you remember back then, Nick, when we were like 21, 22 years old? Like, do you remember how like hair trigger you were as a young man? Do you really take into consideration the amount of mellowing you've done over time?
Oh, yeah.
Especially you and like football guys.
Yeah.
In particular. That is a fucking explosive sport.
Well,
you are just, you know, think about what a regular kid does during the day or a regular kid does that doesn't play a sport like that, and then what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're involved in fucking collisions with big, giant dudes. I mean, think about what you did to your shoulders. I mean, all that kind of crazy chaos and violence becomes a part of your normal, everyday world.
Not to mention your testosterone levels growing up, and then you throw booze on that at a party. My first girlfriend broke up with me because I got in a couple of fights, you know, at parties. And
but what else do you do with it? I mean, you're bred to be a fucking warrior from day one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a healthy outlet to play football and stuff at that point. Other than you can get a lot of trouble if you don't.
It's true.
You know, I know guys who didn't play that were fucking pretty violent. At least I was taking it out, you know, on people in practice.
Well, I think there's definitely something to be said for finding an outlet for violence, like an outlet for aggressive action, and it's something that calms your body down, especially for young men.
Absolutely.
I mean, football's a tricky one because there's the fucking studies that are coming back now on football
players. I'm not a fan anymore, man. I don't know what the fuck happened.
No, it's
I was a huge football fan, watched it all the time, played it, and the more research that I've been learning from, was it Amber Lyon or Rhonda Patrick that talk about the head injuries, etc. I'm like, fuck, the last 10 years of my life, I'm fucked.
There was somebody was relaying a story. I don't remember the entire story, but it was about a football player in college. He gets knocked out. He gets dinged like real bad, just like. But he's moving around. They sit on the sidelines. They send him back in. He gets smashed again, and now permanent damage.
Yeah, man.
And he's fucked. Still fucked. Like many years later, he's still a wreck.
I know of four concussions. I know of 4, but I also know of plenty of times when I got dinged and went back into the game. So I'm a little nervous myself. And I got hit by a car when I was 11 years old.
Oh,
and was in a hospital for a week.
Maybe that's what made you funny. Did you ever think about that?
Absolutely. I brought it up in some article.
That can't be true, Joe, because I've been in 4 total car accidents, and I played semi-pro football, and I have my moments, and that's about it.
Forget that John Travolta movie where you get hit by lightning and can read people's minds. Because it doesn't work the same with everybody.
No, man. No.
But it does. For some people, they have head injuries, and all of a sudden they have new skills. They can do math. They can play music.
They can dance. And
it doesn't work.
They can do massaged.
Yeah,
they can do therapy.
Yeah, it doesn't always work. But sometimes it does.
Yeah, I wonder all the time. I know.
The reason why I said it is because that's what happened to Kinnison. He got hit by a car when he was a little kid. They said that when Kinnison was young, he was one way. He was like normal, regular kid. And then he got hit by a car and like real bad. And then when he got out of whatever the fuck he was in, all of a sudden he was Kinnison. Wild, impulsive, didn't give a fuck. Oh! Yeah. He became that wild, crazy preacher guy. Like literally became that from a car accident.
When you start talking TBIs and traumatic brain injuries, and that who is walking into these facilities, it's amazing how fucking arrogant these psychiatrists act. Because we literally know almost nothing about real TBIs. You know, where the brain, you get hit here, it could do this, it could do that. We don't know. So what happens is a guy who walks in, who has a traumatic brain injury, a definite TBI, what they start doing is playing with psychotropic medication, and they start saying, well, if it's in this area and this is the behavior, so they throw you 6, 7 cocktails of pills, hoping they guess the right way. And antidepressants are the same fucking way. And I tell people, man, the last thing you want to do is go right to a fucking antidepressant before you do anything. Don't do that yet. And once you start to walk down that road, it can be years before you baseline again.
So it's like a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but just a more sophisticated version, but still just as chaotic.
They're fucking guessing. That's why they'll tell you an SSRI won't work for you your whole life. This will work for a while, but we got to try these 9 until we find the one that does. This one will work for a while, then when it doesn't, we'll switch. And the scariest part, it's a wannabe podcast, but I was just having fun with it. It was called The Cognitive Rampage.
I think all podcasts are wannabe podcasts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's no legitimate podcast.
Except for yours.
This is totally illegitimate.
This is a real deal.
It's sort of, but not really. Trust me.
I'll show you a legitimate podcast.
Brian and I know the origins of it.
But I had can I say a doctor's name on here? I had a bipolar specialist. Name
Shivago?
Dr. Brodsky, Dr. Louis Brodsky.
Dre.
Okay. And all he's done is focused on bipolar.
Seuss.
And so what his issue is most people, they'll walk into a facility, right? They'll 75% of them are getting diagnosed with depression, right? Here's your antidepressant, out the door. The doc spent 3 minutes with you, your general practitioner, asked you some sadness questions. You fit the criteria, try this antidepressant. They don't tell you you're about to fuck your whole chemical shit up. You're about to screw your brain up. But what happens though? If you're bipolar truly, and you take an antidepressant, the first 2 or 3 days, you're going to feel like God. You're going to feel like everything has been fixed and been better in my life, and think you have the right pill. Every doctor at that point should know, oh shit, we fucked up. You give someone who's bipolar an antidepressant or SSRIs, and they cycle faster, almost twice to 3 times as faster than they ever cycled before in their life. Wow. So think about how many people are going to a doctor, talk about some typical sadness or depression. Yeah. Here's Zoloft or some shit. You go home and they're like, man, this is great. Left side field, I'm getting a little tangential, but had a guy, both his sons killed themselves, and I was counseling him. Doc gave him, thought he was depressed, gave him an antidepressant. The second day after it, he said, I'm over it all. All of this was meant to happen.
You can tell that's not natural.
And he was happy and ready to go, And then 2 days later, starts to cycle hard from manic to heavy, manic to suicidal, manic to suicidal.
That stuff works for like my dad's going to be 80, you know, and I got an uncle who's 85, and that's when it works. The antidepressant helped them both. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's, like you said.
It works for some people. The people that I know that have worked for, that has worked for, out of them, I know a few, but 2 of them have cycled off of it. It helped them. They fixed their life. They got their life in order. And then once their life was ordered, then they weaned themselves off of it.
How you're supposed to do it.
Yeah. Well, they both did it that way. One of my friends from jiu-jitsu and a comedian friend of mine.
Yeah, they definitely work. I wouldn't bash that at all. But as your first go-to, there's a lot of other things you can try, you know, changing your routine, trying to find different things to get involved with. There's a lot of things to do before you start going the quick magic pill fix.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, thanks for doing this. I'm glad I met you last night. It was a fortuitous opportunity to have a conversation with you, and I knew that we would have a cool talk. I mean, I very rarely do this. So to have someone in like
perfect symmetry.
Perfect. It worked out. The fucking universe was looking out for us. Nick DiPaolo, ladies and gentlemen. One of the funniest comics in the world, for sure. NickDip.com.
NickDip.com.
What is the album they can still buy?
Another Senseless Killing. If you use the coupon code Nick, you get $3 off. Hit me up at Nick DiPaolo on Twitter. My podcast at riotcast.com, and I'll be at the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club tonight. This airs
Ventura Harbor Comedy Club
in Ventura,
tonight.
California tonight.
Find me at AdamLowery.com or thecognitiveRampage.com.
And it's spelled Lowery. AdamLowery.com. Brian Redband is doing a water show with burlesque dancers and electrical cords all throughout Canada.
No. That sounds filthy.
That's what I heard.
No, I'm going to be next Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday I'll be with Dean Del Rey at the San Jose Improv, and then August 5th I have a secret show at the Comedy Store. It's my birthday show, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Glorious.
And then Ventura.
He'll be 62.
Glorious. And you're tonight at the Ventura
Harbor Comedy Club.
Woof.
I'll be there.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We'll see you next week. Until then, much love. Bye-bye, and big kiss. That was a good one. Impromptu.